Monday. Are you ready for this total eclipse of the heart? Let's go. Today on the show, we will be talking about the sun. And we'll be talking about lighting. What is the closest thing to the sun in lighting? Let's grow. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a new episode of the Guerrero Grow Show. This is a brand new episode, so buckle your seatbelts up. It is a special show today. It is a Eclipse of the Sun show. We will be talking about the sun all day long, being that it's sunny. So, I am your host, Chris Guerrero, and let me put the link in the chat, and the link, and we can get this party started. There it is right there. Yeah. So there's the link. Come on in. The water's fine. Yes. So the reason why I said that is the whole sun thing is because today it's all about the sun. And I don't have any lights and stuff, so I don't know anything about sun, about lights, indoor lights. So the one light that I've been seeing is that Sun on Demand, and that thing seems really super interesting. I don't have a light, and that is the light. If I was to get one, that's the one I want. And I'm wondering if people that use HPSs are going to want to use that light. I think this is the light they want to switch to. Hold on, we got somebody in the background. Let me go get... Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from all the way to Big D. Let's give a warm welcome to Big D. What's up, Big D?
Oh,
Morning.
Having coffee.
Nice. Hey, I got a question for you. Do you use HPSs?
I've currently used LEDs, but I prefer HPS. Most of my experiences with HPS.
Does this Sun on Demand light get you like, oh my God, there's something I could get you going and shit?
I have to say, I guess I'm behind the ball on the Sun on Demand. I'd have to look it up. I will say that HPS, the fact that it's an exploding gas inside of a tube, the radiant heat is more emulative of the sun than LEDs. Even though LEDs is definitely more efficient. I mean, there's no arguing that. But that radiant heat, plants have evolved, with the sun, and radiant heat is a big part of it. Now, how much that affects the growth and all that. I mean, that's that's a whole nother rabbit hole for everybody to go down. But I personally, I don't know. I like the look under HPS better. Now, whether that's just because that's what I'm more accustomed to, that's the way it was back in the day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Grumpalumbagus. There we go. All right, continue on.
Oh, well, that's pretty much all I was saying is I just, I like the look of HPS. And the biggest drawback that I see for LEDs that I don't like that I'm learning is that lack of radiant heat, which most of the time is a good thing. In the winter, it fucking sucks because now you end up running a heater which pulls 1,000 watts,
Yep.
provides no light to
Yep.
offset the lack of heat that it generates, and that pisses me off. And that's probably my biggest
No,
beef with LEDs.
I
It's
hear you,
almost like
man.
I would rather run an HPS in the winter. But the problem within Texas is the weather changes every other fucking day. You know, it doesn't stay one way or the other.
Nice, nice. Now, being that you're a HPS guy, and and you haven't looked at it, but what it is it's a plasma. It's kind of
Yeah.
like
Oh, okay.
it's like high pressure sodium. It has a gas in there, and it's pushing electricity through plasma. So
I'm aware. Okay,
it's
I am aware of it because probably 20 years ago, there was an article in High Times, and there was a big grower that was pushing to use that tech. So that technology actually has existed. Now, if it's finally made it to market and it's
yes.
viable, that's great. But I am aware of plasma technology.
It's
Oh,
been
nice,
around for a
nice.
little bit. I've seen it around different plasma lights
S-
and shit.
It's like I never did
So,
CMH either. I never bought those either, and
oh,
lots of people like those.
yes, they do. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because Lobster from Lobster Family Farms, he's going to be having a show next week on that, and it's going to be a more in-depth show, and he's going to be talking to the people there and stuff. So he already purchased the light, the Sun on Demand light, and we're going to be able to see how it works with his grow this year.
Well, I put it
So
to you
I'm
this
very
way:
excited for that. So
if I
be on
was
the
to switch,
lookout for Lobster's interview next week. It's going to be killer.
I wouldn't use them. I'll put it this way: if they come to market, I'll wait for the price point to get normal. I won't be the first in line. I've learned that a long time ago with televisions. I got screwed on buying new televisions for top dollar and watch within 8 months. They're like a third of the price. So I didn't get LEDs until I could get LEDs cheap enough to justify it to me to purchase them. Same thing,
Oh yeah.
magnetic ballast to digital ballast. I waited until digital ballast got affordable before I bought them. I stayed with magnetic for a long time after digital existed.
I was gonna say that's not that bad, Big D. If you're a hash maker, you need a $30,000 fucking machine to make hash.
Yeah, well, you know what? You can buy a $20 silk screen and use your hands, and
I
everything
know,
else is.
I know,
And, and,
I
and
know,
that and this is
I
the
know.
thing. Everybody's lost the DIY-ness to. I watched that show and I was interested, but this is the thing. That technology of the positive negative charges, some basic physics, you could probably do a homemade version of that. Like static tech is the same
Right?
thing. I mean, so
Exactly, exactly.
think out the process before you buy the machine, because you might find like ozone generators, same thing. It was a
Yep,
glass plate with a metal screen with the lead on each side that
exactly.
created the corona discharge
I'll be right
that
back.
Hmm.
created
Keep
ozone.
talking.
So I'm not knocking it. I actually liked it. And as far as dry sift, I'm all for dry sift. I'm glad the world is backing up enough to catch up with what
Right?
people have
It's like
known for
buy
thousands of
buy
years.
dry sift screens and make your own dry sift. You ain't gotta have a
I
thirty
hate I
thousand dollar
hate
machine.
I hate bubble hash. I made bubble hash many times. Not enough to get 100% proficient, but after I did 3 buckets of 5 different screens, 5 different fucking times, and spent the whole day of my life, uh,
Okay.
I didn't like bubble hash. And bubble hash
Right.
will mold if you press it. If you don't let it dry. That was my first fuck up when I made bubble hash. I made it
Yeah.
into a ball and broke into one like months later and it was all fucking rotted. And dry sift is just that. It's dry, it's usable right then, loose. If you make high grade, it's pressable. It's obviously can be pressed in plates and made into
Right.
rosin.
Yep.
And so and I do think all the taste and flavors, I agree with them on that dry cure. Like I've never been into the fresh frozen thing. I like to keep shit simple. So,
Right.
dried weed is what we smoke. Dried hash is what I think you should have. And keef is great. And it all goes back to technique. When you learn how to do it right, you don't need high tech. You can do a lot of shit very low tech.
When I was listening to that gal this morning on the FCP, I'm going, you sound just like the company sales lady, man, over here trying to sell your machine.
Right. But I guarantee you there's a home base that machine could be scaled down, and that tech of creating the charge, I guarantee you could do that with some magnets, electricity. I mean,
You know what's funny, for Big D? I make fucking bubble hash, but I microplane it out and let it dry
it
completely.
Well, and what's that the black chick, the Duchess of Dank?
Yeah,
She's got a show, and she'll show you all that shit too. And she was taught by Frenchie, that you can take dry sift and you can, keep pushing it, and you can separate the glands, and you can
me,
get heady shit.
me and my son that passed away, we took the Frenchy cannoli course, paid the money, and took it.
Right. So and Frenchie didn't
Mm-hmm.
really do anything new. He just brought old world hash techniques to the public. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and I'll give him solid for that, but it was already there. Robert Cornell Clark's book, I think,
Mm-hmm.
Hashish. I mean, all that's there. All that same tech is there in that book. I mean, the rolling it on a
He
heated
just
glass
showed people
bottle.
how to really physically do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And he brought it into the new generation. So
mm-hmm,
I mean, he did a solid on that. But
for
those
sure.
techniques have been there. The old hash makers, the throwing it up in the air and letting the wind push the chaff away and the crystals fall back down in the basket. Temple balls. I love
Mm-hmm.
finger hash. I mean, finger hash is my favorite.
I'm like, we make some of the nicest fucking hash, man. I mean, we like smoking hash. I've been smoking hash since I was, fucking over 30 years. So
Well, if
here,
you're a grower,
here's the piece I got left, bro.
beautiful. Looks like a temple ball.
Mm-hmm. Got such a great smell, man. Like, damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Connecticut, let's give a warm welcome to Big John. What's up, Big John?
Morning, Big
Yo,
John.
brother.
What up, Big
What's going
John?
on, guys? Chilling, brother. About to have a smoke.
Hey, and Chris, real quick before I guess the conversation goes further down this track, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to the camera available phone to show y'all the eclipse. It's supposed to be between 140 and 144 here. It's overcast, so I don't think anybody's going to get to see it anyway, other than it go dark. But THC, so it's here from 140 to 144, but in Oklahoma, it's supposed to be 145 to 149. So maybe he can catch some video of
Oh
the world
yeah.
going dark
Well,
because I don't
hopefully
think
he'll
I'm
be
going to
able
be
to
able
come
to
on
show y'all.
live.
Yeah, because that's what I wanted to do, but uh, I guess to make a long story short, my ex pretty much stays where I'm usually at when I use the Wi-Fi. She's off today, so she she wants to claim her day off and doesn't want me over there. So that's pretty much why I'm not going to have camera. I can give you audio.
Good.
Easy, easy.
These gray things, these metal cups things are clean. I just went to them yesterday. I was waiting for them to dry before I stuck them back in the thing.
I love hash. All forms of hash. Give it to me
No
all.
way. No way.
Yummy, yummy, yummy for my lungies. Love me some hash. Oh, dude. But yeah. Uh,
Motley,
so
Motley Farm being
have
how
you
are you,
you
brother?
Wait, hey, Grumpy, have you ever used high pressure sodium?
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
still got a bunch of HPS brand new lights and shit, all full digital and shit.
you still have some?
Yeah. When we do the grow
Okay,
along, you'll see them in my room and shit because I'm going to use some of them.
okay. I mean, what do you think about that Sun on Demand, that fucking plasma light and shit?
I've seen
What do
those
you think
plasma
about it?
lights, and I messed with one for about a year and a half, 2 years, and it was cool, whatever. But you know, basically, when you're growing cannabis, it goes back to keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. No shit, but like in the aspect of that, you could dial it in the terroir of the sun of what it would be like in Africa
Nothing's
compared
gonna
to.
replicate the sun. It's gonna get close, but you're not gonna replicate it.
Well, I mean, dude, it's better than not having it. You know what I mean? And then also
Right.
want to know, it's for a 10 by 10 area.
Yeah, but that's the
The light.
manufacturer claim. I guarantee you it's not really a 10 by 10. It's like they
Mm.
always say, 1,000 watt, high pressure sodium, is like a 6 by 6. You're not going to use it for a 6 by 6. Yes, is there available light in a 10 by 10 usable? Yeah, but are you going to be happy with what you get on the edges? Probably not. And I think that goes across the board. I've been doing it long enough. Manufacturers always overstate the abilities of their products.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Did you say
I'm
there's a light that's claiming it'll cover a 10 by 10?
yes.
How
Yeah. It's
how big is
the
the
sun
light?
on demand light. Yeah, it's the sun on demand light
A
on.
single light supposed to light up a 10 by 10.
It's a plasma
Yes.
source, which,
Yeah.
I haven't used it, but I can say if that's their max spec, the real spec is probably less than that.
Right.
10 by 10 with one light? That's usually a battery of lights rocking a 10 by 10.
Hmm.
Yeah. The way that the plasma works is
That's at
it's
least
supposed to be,
four
and
four
it's supposed
lights,
to be
maybe
less
five lights,
power.
six lights.
Yeah, that was my
Traditionally,
Less
you
next
do a 10 by
power.
question.
10.
What's the wattage pool of their light that they're
It's
claiming
supposed to
will
be
cover?
less wattage, less pull. Like all
Well,
around, it's
less
supposed
Mm,
to
than
be
an
in like the
LED.
they're just trying to
low
get you.
LED.
So
Everything can be
what's the
less than an
amps on
They're
it?
just
HPS.
trying to get you.
No,
LED
I
is
would
anywhere
believe
LED.
the
from 5
efficiency part
amps
of it.
to 3.8.
I would believe the efficiency part of it and how much electricity you're going to save, but it's not going to cover a 10 by 10.
Yeah,
Like D said,
exactly.
efficiently. You're
Well,
the center is
I
going to
think
where
it's
you're
with
going to
a
get those.
chemical. It's more of a chemical response and not of a electrical response. It's more of an electrical chemical
The
response, like the high pressure
phyto
sodium.
activity or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Maybe. That's the same thing with LEDs. The photons, are there. It makes a lot of light. It makes a lot of light. And I will hands down say a 500. Well, I've got a HLG's 480 watt 550R. That's what I use, and it will match 1,000 watt HPS. I'm not knocking that at all. I'm amazed that it can do that. But floral cluster size and stuff like that, they look different under HPS.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming all the way
Whoa,
from the
cheers, cheers.
Sultan of
Mommy
the
farmed that.
Sea.
Farmed
Let's
these.
give a
Cheers, bro.
warm welcome to the one, the only co-owner of Sultan Seeds Company, Green Fingers.
Morning.
so green.
Yes. Yes, the other owner to Sultan Seeds is a grandmother, so it is a grandmother owned seed company. So support your grandmothers.
Let's hear it for Mom Green Fingers. Yay!
Yay!
Cheers. Cheers.
Green Fingers is all, wait a minute, bro. It's my gig right here.
No, I
You talk
appreciate
about my mama.
it. Talk about my mom.
All right, here we go.
All right, so we're gonna get a
Sure.
fundraising thing together to get one of those $30,000 hash machines, or what?
I got
Oh,
5 on it.
geez, dude. $5, not 5,000. He's saying
$5 yeah. I
he's
got
got
5 on it.
$5 on it, not
Let's go half
5,000.
on a sack. Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I got
Yeah,
five on it.
he's it's
Poke that
$5,
in the weed.
not 5,000,
I
ladies
got
and gentlemen.
five on it.
I would look
Baby,
into
let's
the
go
tech, though.
halves
I
on the
guarantee you
sack.
can duplicate it in a cheaper, easier way.
All right, who is that?
Those things got to be expensive, huh? What are they going for? Is that more than an
30.
HLG?
Oh, the
Ladies
plastic?
and
I don't know.
gentlemen, boys and girls, all the way from Northern California, let's give a warm welcome to Tank Chair.
What's up, Tank? Damn, all y'all got sunny skies, and I'm over here where you're supposed to be able to see the eclipse, and it's fucking cloudy.
Right,
Of
that's
course it
how it
is.
goes, dude.
That's
Yeah.
how it always
Oh, I
goes.
knew it. They were saying this 2 weeks ago. I mean, but it'll still get dark, so that's going to be cool in itself.
What I come on and green fingers leaves, huh? I see how it is.
Tank's like,
I'm
where'd
out,
you
bro.
guys go?
He's
I
like,
thought it
I
Tank
was
don't, I
says,
this
don't
where
like
the
I
week.
this
saw
fuck
guy.
you
Grumpy
guys
disappear, so
go?
I figured that I should disappear too.
He's like, I don't like this guy. I'm out of here.
It goes from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Oh,
But the
yeah, I was going to say, we're
totality
going
is
to have to ask everyone
140
on
to
the East Coast how it's
144.
going.
Got these hairs bothering me. I gotta pick my nose. See, I got nose hairs. You guys want to see me ripping them out?
Right on, man.
Jeez.
Right on.
No,
Pick it
We
no,
are
out.
talking
no,
about
we
your
I just
don't.
gotta
product
do
right
this, man.
now.
They're
No, we do
bugging
not
me.
want to see
Get the
that.
Ow!
tweezers out.
I got
Look,
it.
see,
No, it's just one
Tank's not
mustache
even going to
hair.
see the eclipse. He's going to see full sun.
So hold on. Green Fingers, you said that
Oh shit! What did I?
you used to grow with, what did you used to grow with?
Two
HPS,
1,000 watt HPS
Okay, and then you went to
LEDs, 19
LEDs.
watts.
Why did you go from HPSs to LEDs? What made you go to LEDs?
The heat and the electricity, the money,
Yeah, the cost.
and it has so much better buds now and more of them, and the room's evenly spread out with light, not just like where the light wants to be. It's like everywhere, fully, and it's on the lowest setting, so I don't have to run it full until when I want. Yeah, everything's better with LED. HPS is kind of old technology, and like we need to get out of that mind frame of being stuck in there because the buds are huge when I'm finished growing them. Giant knockers. I mean, they're not little by any chance, and they're fully hard. They're not
Yeah.
fluffy. And
Yeah,
they're
they're
like
dead.
dense nugs, big fat dense nugs. So I don't
Thanks,
know
Nugs.
when people say all this stuff about LEDs, they haven't grown under them. That's my experience.
Yeah, I like them. I mean,
Thank
the
you so much.
efficiency, you can't beat it. I mean, honestly,
I'm gonna
Thank
pick
but
you
my
I
so
mustache
do,
much.
real quick. I'll be
but
right
I
back.
just like the look of the HPS nugs. And maybe that's just because that's what I was used to. They definitely look different. But what, you definitely get more with a LED. No
I
doubt about it.
wonder because you got so much dry hair out there and heat that
Big
it
fat
just
nugs.
affects them differently.
LED.
All right.
Huge fat
Here
nugs with
here are
LED.
some
Put my fingers around it.
here's some comparisons from from LED to Sun on Demand. The power usage, 1,500 watts comparative to 1,300 watts of the same.
But who
Uh,
uses 1500 watt?
lens
I mean,
view,
okay.
lens view for a LED is 120 degrees, and for this it's 270 for the Sun on Demand.
Mm.
All right, the bulb runtime for a LED is 50,000 hours. The bulb runtime for Sun on Demand is 100,000 hours.
What's the
All
price?
right,
Let me guess. It's new
100
and
cubic.
improved
Hold
in every
on,
way. This is coming
100
from
cubic feet.
the company?
100 cubic feet. You need 4 units to get the light that 1 unit would get
But
of
what's the
Sun on
price?
Demand.
Give me dollars.
Hold on. Hold
Yeah, the
on.
sun
I'm
on the
getting
man is
there.
gonna be a
Hold
better
on.
I
light.
That's at
can't
the
believe
bottom,
But
dude.
one light's
That's
gonna
at the
cover a 10
bottom,
by 10.
man.
That is
All right.
so. That's
Yeah, all
I'm
stupid.
right.
like
That
you,
So
crazy.
John. John's a
power
skeptic like
usage,
me.
power usage per
Can't be
100
fucking with
square
it.
feet. If you
That'd be a
have
game changer. If you could
four
light a 10 by 10 with
1,500 watt
one light and
lights,
it's
that's
super efficient, that'd be a game
6,000
changer. I
watts.
doubt it's that.
But if you have one
guarantee,
1,300 watts,
guarantee,
that's 1,300 watts.
guarantee plasma is gonna be better.
AC,
I mean, it's just a different technology.
AC, you're going to need zero point 0.5 tons times 4. That's 2 tons. A one of these lights only takes 0.5 tons. All right. Spectrum. The spectrum that you get from a LED in between 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers. Okay. Limited frequencies and PAR. All right. The spectrum of the Sun on Demand is 285 nanometers to 1650 nanometers. Mimics true sunlight.
Yes, plasma is a better light.
All
I
right.
agree. I just want to know what the price point is going to be because I don't think it's
All
going to
right.
be.
Hold on, man.
Are
Remember,
you a
this thing
sales rep?
lasts
You a sales
twice
rep?
to 3 times, maybe even 4 times longer than your LED lights. Okay.
So they
So
say.
if you bought the top of the
As
line
advertised,
bulbs
everything
because you're the
comes
top of the line
as
guy,
advertised. Don't you guys
Yeah,
know that?
listen to John. Listen to
is
John. I
you
agree.
could spend up to $1,700 to $2,900 for good LED lights. All right. For one of these things is
Yeah,
$7,499.
mine were
Okay,
one
exactly.
light
hold
for
on.
one light. 1,000 for one light is what
Yeah,
I spent. Now they're
yeah,
only $599. It's like
yeah.
fuck
All
it,
right,
And
man.
all right, hold on.
how many harvests
What
can you
you
get?
can grow
Yes.
limited to 8 foot.
That's
This
wild.
light grows any size, any plant,
But
anytime, anywhere.
buy a
Okay,
thousand
but
of my
how
lights
many
with that sun
crops?
mostly.
How
You
many
sound like
crops
a
could you
salesman. Are
get?
you a salesman for this company, Chris? Are you a secret
No, I'm
salesman?
not a salesman for this company.
Now
I
think
just
think
I
think
feel
about it.
like this is like when the plasma screen
I feel
TV
like I'm
came
being
out,
sold
when the
something today.
screen came out, when all those things came out. This is new
But
technology,
it's not
and
It's when
new.
the
It's
LEDs
new
not.
came out.
techno
It's the
It's
new
same
not
as when the
new.
LEDs
technology
came
turns
out.
me on, man. You know what I mean? Come
There's
on,
You haven't
nothing
dude.
even
new. There's
you ain't
nothing
even
new
the
Apparently.
about
LEDs
this.
yet.
This
You
is
haven't even
just
No, I'm
new
grown
fired
yet.
up about
marketing.
this one.
Your first lights have to be
I'm
sent on
telling
demand.
you, there is nothing new about plasma. It's been around for 20 years. This is a new company marketing it. And once again, it's going to cost $7,000 to buy a bulb. Green Fingers could buy 10 700-watt LEDs and harvest many, many, many crops. You'll never recoup the $7,000. And by the time you do, that version that you just bought, it's like buying Blurple lights, will be obsolete.
No,
It
no,
will
But you
be.
this
only
is going
need,
this
at
is
that
going
price
to
point, you only
last
need a couple
you
suckers to buy
probably
this
So they
shit.
say.
10
And this company
years.
made money.
10
Yeah,
years.
mine's a
They said
5 year
the same
warranty.
thing.
I got
They said
5 year
the same
warranties on
thing.
mine. Yeah.
They said the same thing about compact fluorescents. Oh, replace your incandescent bulb. They're never going to go out. You go buy fucking compact fluorescent lights. You buy them just as often as you buy regular light bulbs. I
True.
mean, that's marketing bullshit. I've been marketed and lied to for 30 years. Don't believe the hype.
There's
Plasma
That's
always
technology.
something new
that's
and
the best
improved
bulb
coming
right
out.
there.
Some companies always got the latest, greatest thing. You know,
You
The,
guys see
I
that
the,
agree
plasma
with
in there? That's the
Big
best
B
bulb
with
right
the
there.
yeah,
this part.
plasma.
This part.
I'm going to say it. Plasma is the best lighting technology. It is the
No,
best lighting technology, but it ain't
that's the
ready for
best
the
light
market.
right there. You see
Yeah.
that light?
That's
Blue
right,
light?
right behind him. Oh, you burned my retinas, Tank. I can't see. Yeah,
I start
we
the
did
gaze
it
every
again.
day. It doesn't hurt my eyes at all no more. I can look at the sun for
That's
like
the
5
best
minutes.
right there.
No effects.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
No effects. I
I
I
fucking
need
think
my
after
Eclipse glasses.
I think you all need to
1,000
come
watt.
to
Please,
California and grow
ladies and
outdoors.
gentlemen, we here at the Grow Show don't condone or endorse any of looking at the sun with your bare naked eyes.
Do it.
Please
Do
do
it.
not do that.
You
Sun
don't
bees like
Don't
me
expect
do
will have
that,
better eyes
please.
than anybody.
don't be a
Seriously.
consumer. How did the
Life is short,
cavemen look
man.
at
Life is
eclipses?
short.
Did they go get special glasses at Walmart? No.
I
Nope.
I
They
think they
looked
probably
at it.
didn't look. I think they didn't look at it. They probably just thought, "Damn, why is it dark in the middle of the day?"
No, they looked at it. They looked directly at it.
Yeah, everybody
There was
looks
a lot of blind cavemen.
It's gonna
I'm
happen
sure
here
after
around
the
2:30.
first,
I'm going outside. I'm gonna look at that shit.
well, call your retinist now and set your appointment, please.
Yes.
It's not
I've already
good.
had numerous retinal
stab
detachments.
yourself in the
Yeah,
eyes.
okay.
I don't think
Google
Less
my
sun
painful.
gazing.
my
People literally
my
sun
retina's
gaze
been
every
through
day.
hell.
And I've been
Stay
sun
away.
gazing for over 10 years and my eyes aren't any
Oh,
worse than my
yes,
experience. So
yes, I
What? I
agree.
can't see
Yourself
you.
some welding classes.
I'm
I haven't
blind.
got a
Yeah,
I'm
with
new
blind.
welding
new glasses
glasses.
for over
Yeah,
10 years. I haven't got new glasses for 10 years. These are the same old prescription.
No,
I
I can
get
agree
see
you
with
some
you
welding
too.
easily.
classes.
I have
I
a
always
genetic
like to
eye
look at the
condition. I
eclipses.
see a retinist, and I even asked him things about light, because like even indoor lighting, you're always the caution is always to protect your eyes, but that's like a lawyer speak, because they don't want to get sued. But I asked my
No, it
retinist
isn't.
about it, and he was like, "There's really no proof that highlight is really damaging to your eyes, so it's more cautionary. It makes sense to not stare at it,
Right.
avoid bright light. Welding definitely will fuck your eyes up. There's no doubt about that. don't
Yeah.
don't weld
Don't
without a mask. That's proven. You
You're
will go
telling me
blind.
I'm going to go blind because I used to weld with no glasses? No. I
Oh,
did used
dude.
to.
Yeah, dude.
You just look away.
I
Look away.
still got burnt fucking spots in my
Well,
eyes
yeah,
from
yeah.
welding without the glasses and stuff. Yeah, when
Yeah, I
the
got some.
see what happens is when you go to the eye doctor and they go, "Tell me when you don't see the spot." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the red little
And
dot
I can't
spot.
see the spot. Yeah, that little spot it
I'm
disappears a
good with
lot.
that
I'm
one.
like, I don't know. I don't know where it went. It disappeared.
Yeah, I'm good with
Yeah.
that one. I used to wear sunglasses every day for everything. Indoors too, like a weirdo. Like right now,
Oh,
transition. When I go outside, I just want to be black for hours. That gives me a headache
were
sometimes.
they audio calling me?
I only sun gaze at the end of the day for the last 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes of the day, I'll look into the sun when it's going behind the sun, behind the mountain. Watch it disappear. So it's not full sun. I would never look into the sun right now. That would hurt. That would hurt. Right when it's going behind the mountain, from a circle to nothing, I have to watch it.
Hot sand in your eyes. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
I get sand in my eyes every day out here. When the wind blows, can't go outside. My
So
blind dog loves it out there. It hurts after you get sandblasted too. I don't like sand and the wind together. Fuck those two things.
yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah, sand in the eyeball is not good. Crystals,
No,
trichomes
in
in
your
the
mouth,
eyeball is not
bro.
good.
When you get it in your mouth and you just keep chewing and you can't stop the grit, you're just like it's like
Oh,
it's so
Yeah,
annoying, dude. It freaking
I've
kills me every
definitely
time.
had trikes in the eye. I don't like that either.
Oh, that's bad. That's worse than
Real
sand.
bad. It's
I'd
worse
throw
than
sand in my
sand.
eyes.
Yes,
Throw sand in
definitely
my
worse
eyes.
than sand.
Fuck the trike. I don't want no trikes in my eyes. That burns and it doesn't want to come out.
Yeah, pepper on the PP, trikes in the eyes, no
I'll
good.
take that. I'll take the pepper
Yeah,
on the pizza way over trikes in the
before
eyes, bro.
trikes. Yeah, I
Way over
agree.
trikes in the eyes, bro. That shit hurts, dude. I've literally been down for a week with puffy eyes because I went like this
Got your
after rubbing
cornea.
my
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Fuck that. I could go take a shower. I could take a shower, wash that off, you know? That's not gonna burn down there too much. A little soap and water.
what's going on, Hebrews Jesus? Your little melons that I got in the tent are growing, getting bigger.
Got a plant mine so they
Your
keep killing
melons
me.
are getting bigger.
Melons are getting
Or,
bigger.
honeydew.
Do they need support yet? No.
Yeah,
You're gonna trellis them? You're gonna
Athletic
trellis them or let
support.
them go on the floor? ground.
Athletic support so they don't bounce around too much.
Athletic support. No,
Help
just
them
a
get
little cage across the ground so they could grow on, and then the melons fall under it. That's what I was taught to do.
Nobody likes their melons in dirt.
Yeah. Well,
Gotta
we
elevate your
just got
melons.
slugs where I was
Everybody
at.
likes perky
So,
melons. Nobody likes a saggy melon.
we said slugs on the melons out there. Not good. Earwigs love to eat melons too. I found out. I was like, what the hell? Just picked one up, and there was a ton of earwigs at the bottom that made little holes all over.
everything in the desert likes anything green.
Right. They like smart pots too. They ate like fucking 4 or 5 smart pots, fabric
Wow.
pots, and yeah, holes totally through them. I
I
was like,
bet.
what the heck did this? And
Oh,
crickets. Crickets ate the hell out of them. So I'm down like 5 more pots. Not that I have soil to fill them with. I just have extra pots. I should bring them
I know,
somewhere
right?
safer.
For enough dirt.
They're just out there sitting there with no soil. I'm like, dude, if I could fill these. Now, I need to fill the greenhouse up completely one year, not just 3 beds. Get back to making hash like I used to. I feel naked not making hash for the past 5, 10 years, or however long it's been.
You
8
guys have
years. 9 years.
big black scorpions down there, Jesus, in the desert.
I don't think you got black ones. I think you got the yellow ones too, right? Jesus. I think we got the same ones.
We get the black ones here. I don't see them like. I have some property, and it's really weird. Like I don't know what their cycle is, but I've only seen scorpions like twice in 20 years.
What the heck?
But I did see them.
You're lucky.
But
Shit.
I did see them, and they're the little black ones.
I've never seen a black one, but I get rid of those little yellow ones all the time, bro.
Yeah, you
Like
gotta
they're
watch
normal now.
little yellow
It's,
ones, man.
it's basic now. Like at first, when I first moved here, I was like, oh, fuck, a scorpion. Freak out. And then now it's like, oh, fuck, another scorpion. Shit.
How you get rid of them?
I just take them outside and throw them over the fence.
So how
Just
do you
throw
grab them?
'em.
Like you throw a bowl on them or something? How do you capture them?
Yeah, I had this little container I did use. Now my black
He
widow's
picks
in
them
there.
up by
I
the
haven't seen
stinger.
them.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
haven't
say,
seen
how the
them
fuck do
throw.
you handle a scorpion?
No, they're so
Especially when
small
it's
that they'll.
wild. It's not a tame
They're lightning.
scorpion, is it?
Yeah, they're lightning fast. You got to throw a bowl over them, paper under, and then you're good. But they're so fast, if you don't put something over them like that, you just step on them. I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, you accidentally do it, not like trying to. They'll go under your foot, like for protection as you're walking towards them. They'll just run, squish.
Yeah, I know the black ones. They just look gnarly. Those little
Well,
yellow ones, man. Those.
I've never been stung by a scorpion, but my mom had, and everybody I know says it ain't nothing nice.
I've never been stung that I know of.
I think I'd rather get stung by a scorpion than bit by a rattlesnake, though.
Yeah,
Oh
who's
yeah,
got rattlesnakes? So we had definitely rattlesnakes around here.
you got
Uh,
snakes down here. Yeah, it's not.
we got copperheads, moccasins, and rattlesnakes are the three poisonous that we have. And rattlesnakes aren't real common in this part, even though they do exist here. They're not as common. Moccasins, water moccasins, big time.
Hmm.
Copperheads, fairly prevalent.
Yeah, we got.
Rattlesnake, like I said, they're in the counties, but they're not prevalent. Like you go south or west, yes, rattlesnakes are definitely a thing. I remember walking through the dunes down in Padre. My in-laws had lived down there, and he was like, "Dude, don't be walking through the dunes at night, man." He's like, "Fucking rattlesnakes are everywhere out there." And I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't thinking that."
Yeah, rattlesnakes are good though because they don't make too much
All
noise
right,
and they
guys,
eat
we're gonna have
a
a special guest come in.
lot of stuff.
Look at this big bad boy.
Look at that big old baby. Bet you he tore up a lot of rats when he was living. Good job.
Look at the size of the rattle on that thing.
Oh wow,
It's getting huge.
beautiful trophy. Did you eat it? Did not eat it.
I think he was from Lake County. Special guest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a special guest. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest coming to you from the Sun on Demand. Let's give a warm welcome to... I didn't get your name. What was your name again?
My name is Cinder Rajan, but my nickname is Sun. My mother must have
Oh,
known.
Sun.
Yes.
That's funny. That's great. That's great. Well, this is my group right here. We are a community, cannabis community group. A lot of us grow indoors. A lot of us have their own professional growing. They do it professionally. So yeah, we were talking about your product because it's new and exciting, and people want to know what's going on with it. So
So
um,
did anybody mention the price already? Because it's usually the first thing people get hung up on. Money. It's so
oh
expensive.
yeah,
Oh, did they?
oh yeah,
Did,
yeah.
oh yeah. That's the one.
That's oh
Yeah,
yeah,
because
That's usually
that's
the
the
first
you can't
thing.
get $5,000 for a pound of weed anymore. So yeah, it's a little costly.
Yeah, it is. It is. So
yes.
usually the price is one. The other they often go is, oh, plasma's been around for 20 years. Another one that people hit on up all the time is, um, the floor, the coverage that the light has. But all of that doesn't really matter much. By the way, we're not a lighting company. So we're a wellness, sustainability, and biomimicry company. What we do is emulate Mother Nature. And our goal really isn't to really help indoor farmers. We're more for helping outdoor farmers. And you'd wonder, why the heck do you have a light if you're going to help outdoor farmers? Yeah, exactly. And it's also genetics. So we don't talk about PAR. We don't talk about all the sort of normalized things that people talk about in lighting. All the LED companies come up with, oh, blue, the plant only needs blue. And like, where in the world do you see plants growing in purple light? And then they tell you things like, oh, well, the PAR range, which you see through your eyes, is all the thing the plant wants. Well, how do they sleep? Where do they get their circadian rhythm? Where do they get their immune system? It's all UV, which majority of those lights don't even have. So, or if they do, how do you match sunlight? So what our light does, it's a fusion, certainly has plasma in it, but we get every frequency available, not just the 500 and the 700 in the blue and red. And what happens when you use those other artificial lights, you're just really mutating the plant to grow. Hell, it's a weed. It grows in a crack in granite. You don't need to be Mother Nature. Mother Nature and the plant has more genetics than us humans. So when you have a master grower who thinks he really knows what he's doing, it's really the plant that's doing it all. It's not the grower. you're just really reacting to a color of the leaf. You're reacting to the way it looks, but the plant just does that. So I will answer every question that you have about the Sun on Demand and what we're doing. Our prices are high only because of the economies of scale. When we get more of these out in the field, the prices are going to go down because the price currently is burdened by that. But I can show you by math that price tag is significantly lower if you consider the overall spend you make per pound of cannabis, meaning the air conditioning, the humidity control, the kind of soil and nutrients you use. So yeah, so I can answer whatever you'd like. And by the way, I'm not here to sell you a light. I'm here for you to consider what is the most important thing to you, the quality of the plant going through, or just doing what every other salt-based, and the plant is bioremedial, so it sucks up everything. Whatever you put in that soil, in your medium, it's going to be in the plant. Just because we don't test for it doesn't mean those poisons still don't exist. That's why I ask people, why are you flushing? Why would you flush a plant if it's healthy, right? Why would you do that? So the goal here is to understand, are you growing a full spectrum entourage plant with the least amount of use of different kinds of chemicals to coax it to grow and mutate it in a way where it will grow? Or are you trying to grow medicinal? And yes, we consider whether it's rec or you're using it as a medicine, it's all a medicinal plant, no matter what. No matter how you do it, that's what cannabis is. Now, whether we move it to another direction to get sales, to be able to get poundage, and we are always also going to have a war between the look of an indoor grow LED tight bud to the outdoor, oh, it's so dirty out there and it doesn't even really look good, and you get all that crap. The bottom line is, heirloom tomato looks like shit, but it has all of the nutrients. It tastes better than the ones you buy in the store that's grown in factory farms and just made that burger perfect. So the question is, I think at the beginning when we talk to people, why are you growing? That's the question I have. Why are you growing that plant? That's the first question. Forget the wattage, forget the money, forget all that. Why are you growing? So that would be the first thing. So Grumpy, I'm starting with you. Why are you growing this plant?
I grow up medicinally in living soil. For all my patients, I take care of veterans, seniors, and stuff. So I grow up medicinally, and we grow it ethically here on the farm. We don't have any salt-based anything, any chemicals on our farm.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, Big John, why do you grow it?
I grow for medicinal purposes for myself and for my family, friends.
Amazing. Tank?
Yep.
Yeah, same medicinally, and also that you can't get anything at any collective that's safe. So I grow it myself.
Yep. And Green Fingers, how about you?
I grow for medicine and I grow for seeds. So yeah.
Perfect. And how about you, Chris?
I grow because of what these guys are saying. Medicine, the cost of cannabis is way too high here in California. They overtax everything, and I think we're at 30 something percent, and I cannot afford the amount of medicine I need. So I have to grow it myself, and yeah, that's why I do
Okay.
it.
So
Yeah, I'm actually a wheelchair user, so there's like spasticity issues that I have to use cannabis for. It helps spasticity, and also there's other strains that help with like metabolism that I'm learning. So there's a lot of that.
So for someone like you, the secondary metabolites are very important. The
Yes.
full expression of the plants and the
Yeah.
combination of those compounds.
Yeah. I
is
don't care how
extremely
pretty it looks. It just has to work good for me.
okay. So let me try to frame this in a different way than most growers do. First of all, I want to give you a big thank you for growing the way you're growing. I want to thank you from the plant's point of view, because it is so misaligned in our industry. It is mistreated. It's a beautiful lady, amazing plant, and we screw with it all the time. All we want to do is get poundage out there and get a hip hop star to do it, get the right kind of packaging, and go out there and make shitload of money. It's just total bullshit. Excuse my French. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for growing the way you're growing.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, and caring about what's really truly the nature of what Mother Nature has provided to us. I want to thank you that you recognize that. So let's get back to the Sun on Demand, and let me try to frame it in a way that makes sense to you. By the way, I work with Harry Rose, I work with Sunshine Johnson, I work with Apfelglow Farms, and I work with guys like, and you may have mixed feelings as I do sometimes with the guys at Emerald Cup as well. And things that have happened to that whole group, I'm saddened by where it's gone. So think about inside of a room or even outside, the energy of sunlight. Everything on our earth that's organic and living, except maybe styrofoam, gets all its energy from sun. And that sun transmutes into something, and then we either eat it or an animal eats it. And that's how we live, not calories, but joules of sun. So when you go indoors and you use the kind of artificial lights that are available right now, you're getting at most 27 to maybe 30, some lights maybe 40% of the energy of sunlight, all the electromagnetic frequencies of sunlight. And majority of those companies will tell you by color, but plants don't see color. They assume, and it works really well, because when you see a room, your eyes see something, and a lot of growers will tell me, oh, I don't have enough light. Oh, I got too much light. Well, the plant doesn't see any of that. And if you see issues in an indoor grow, it's typically nitrogen burn. It's typically something else other than the light coming in that's doing it. But we attribute it to the light. So what we noticed when we went into grows was the energy of sunlight was missing, and they had to make it up with chemicals to coax that plant to grow. So at the sunlight we have has every quarter wave, eighth wave, 50, every frequency of sunlight's there. It's like a music. If someone were to play your favorite song on a tuba, you'd probably recognize the melody. But if you had the full band and the old orchestra, which is what sunlight's all about, and we don't know what combination of frequencies that a plant uses in the total growth cycle, from the microbes being excited under the soil to the root section to the stalk to the leaves. We end up like a lot of indoor growers will pump in CO2 with LEDs and then cut the plant and just lollipop. Well, that's like putting solar panels in your home and then you going up there and cutting the wires. That's how it gets all its energy. It doesn't make any sense. So a plant, when you grow outdoors, and you guys grow outdoors, you understand that you're getting buds all the way down that plant. You're not just getting buds on the top. So the way we like to help outdoor farmers is this. If you can grow outdoors, please don't buy my light. Please don't buy any light. If you can have perfect living regenerative soil and really clean genetics, please don't even consider a light. You're not going to grow anything any better than that Mother Nature is the best. And we know this. We know this innately. Know this, but we also know when we put something like that in our body, the body high, the head high, how long it lasts. The new stuff right now lasts like such a short hit. And then when I ask people at meetings, like, really, you have 48% THC? Can you show me the genetic that actually can show that? That's total. What lab did you go to that you had to pay to get 48% THC? And where's all the other compounds that come?
You're so right
you in
about
your
that number. You're so
Yeah, it's baloney. It's just total baloney to me. I don't know what plant does that. So, but then when you get a Hindu Kush with 11%, but all the other compounds are there, let's talk about the kind of high you have then.
Yeah,
I'll put
buddy.
any clean Hindu Kush against any of these hybridized products out on the market for efficacy, for the way you make you feel, the medicine value of it, the long length of the high, and what you're actually putting in your body. That plant that doesn't got poison in it, that's worse than what you're trying to solve. So this is how we help outdoor farmers. When you guys had I don't know where your geographic location is, but when Humboldt had those fires and had ash everywhere, when you get a bad winter, when you don't know what to do with your mother to overwinter it, when you're doing your genetics because you find something uniquely different and you want to enhance that and keep it. Maybe you want to go seed to seed instead of tissue culture. That's where we come in to help you. And if you want to harden your plant, so even if you, like Sunshine will put it out in dry farming, that's great. But then now you're up to the whims of the weather. You're up to whatever's happening for you in that particular year as to, very much like wine and vintage. But if you're doing medicine and you only have a certain amount of grow space and you have people who count on you for this medicine, you can't have a bad year. You got people who count on it. They're not doing, in your place, grumpy, they're trying to get off of opiates. They're trying to get off all the damn pain kills that the VA gives them. There you go. Now we're talking. So
that's full sun grown right there, that picture.
Yep, I can see it. I call those terpene tacos. I love that.
And all the colors and stuff. I mean, that's living soil, full sun grown with no lights at all.
So now I'm going to tell you something that's going to scare the heck out of you. Maybe not, because you guys are astute in this. But you can grow in living soil with microbes, with worms, indoors, with the sun on demand. You can't do that with LEDs. You can't do that with HPS. Because it's got all the frequencies of sunlight, you can do that. Now, do I want you guys to all go indoors? Hell no. None of us do at our company. Our goal really is to help you harden your plant, because now you're able to get them started under full sunlight. You get the root system out, you get the internodes going, you get the immune system built into the plant. Now you take it outdoors. Now you're going to have less loss. You're going to have your immune. You're going to not attract bugs because you can do Brix tests to make sure that you got high numbers before you put it out there. And you know very well bugs only go to weak plants. They can't even bite through it. So this is how we help the outdoor farmers. We help them by hardening the plant, and then also genetic work. And then the other one is just to overwinter your moms to make sure she's fresh for the next year. And seeds. This is how you get clean seeds so that you can move it on if you're doing seed to seed. The other thing that I'd like you to learn about from us, let's say you have a genetic that's working for a specific predisposition, ailment, or you just like the way it makes you feel. It's euphoric, and you worked on it Let's say it's a family heirloom that you did for yourself. So what you do is you'd look at the lineage of that plant and go all the way back. More than likely, it's going to be, Afghan Kush. Maybe it's going to be Panama. You're going to go back to it. Now you find that one and you cross it. And then you cross it back and go pheno hunting. Now what you have is the rusticity, all of the amazingness of that landrace combined with the work you've done. You're going to have an amazing plant that nobody will be able to replicate. You'll have IP of your own product. So if you're worried that someone's going to get a cutting and be able to do it, absolutely not going to happen. So it also helps you generate work so you have some advantage in the marketplace. Okay, so let's talk about cost, money. When you're in a commercial grow with HPS or LED, in LED you're buying tons of CO2. If you have HPS, you have the ballast and it heats up the room so much you got to put air conditioning and buy tonnages of that. And then you got to buy a lot of bottle inputs to coax that plant to grow. And you're going to have PM issues. I'm not saying that we 100% don't have PM with the sun on demand, but we have UV and we have far infrared. And if you have a healthy plant and you're measuring bricks and doing sap tests, you're not going to have as much bugs. They're going to come because they like the sunlight. It's like, it's inevitable. So there's never going to be a situation there's no bugs. The point is your plant is so healthy, it's going to unaffect it, really. So when you measure now the cost of all of those things compared, and by the way, LED lights lose their spectra at 130 hours. No matter if you get the best one from FOS, whether you get them from, they're all, by the way, majority of them made by a company called Cree. So they get wholesale and then they make an array and put a brand name around it. It's not like these guys are making their own LEDs. Little things are in there. It's marketing, it's combination of blue and red and coming up with, and then it's also the genetics, because you can take a genetic and put only blue and red light. It's going to go amazing. You're going to look at, wow, look at this. But then you throw another genetic in there, you got to get it retrained again, right? So with sunlight, that's not the case. Since Mother Nature developed all those plants under one spectra of sunlight, obviously regionally between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, around the equator is where majority of the land races come from. So as long as you have the spectra of sunlight like that, then you're going to have plants that are going to fully express with every compound that genetic has. A lot of people think you lose genetics. You don't. Oh, I got genetic drift. They just become dormant because they're not being vibrated by that electromagnetic energy of that specific wavelength. It's like when you have a subwoofer in a car and you're wondering, holy Christ, man, why is that guy playing that hip hop just blasting himself? Well, that wavelength is 15 feet. He can't hear it. At 15, if he could go out there and listen to the bass, he'd be doing the same thing. Like, what the heck? But because he's over here, 15 feet away from that wave, he has to turn it up. So it's the same thing with sunlight. It has all these frequencies, with UV being very, very tiny, to infrared, which is the size of the pyramid, which is why people have a hard time in greenhouses, because then it traps and then now you got to cool it, and then you get water droplets on the sides, and then now everything grows, and now you got to clean it like crazy because you got everything growing in there between grows. You got fungal growth, you got mold, you got everything, right? Because it loves sunlight. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking, but I just wanted to give you an overview of why sunlight, not the sun on demand, why sunlight is so important. And we emulate, and nowhere near are we 100% of sunlight. We don't have gamma rays. We don't, and we took C out of it because it's harmful. So we have UV from UVB all the way up to 1650 in infrared range, and it's every time you turn it on, it's the same spectra and never degrades. We have one light that's been running 6 years now in Zurich, never being turned off. So it saves you energy. It's the power of a hair dryer to cover, depending on what you're growing. If you're doing tomatoes, it's 150 square feet per light, not 16 by 16. If you're doing cannabis, it's light hungry, so we're at 10 by 10. That's what we advertise, but we also have had people who grow even wider. It depends on what genetics you're growing and how much light it's going to take in. We have one grow in Canada that we grew papaya trees about 15 to 20 feet away from the center of the light.
Could I ask
So-
you?
Sure, absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what genetics have you seen that take in the most light?
We've seen the ones that go along Jamaican. It goes really by the latitude of the Earth.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, because when the Earth has a 27-degree tilt, right? And so as it's going around its own arc around the sun with that 27-degree, the equator really still gets about the same energy all the time.
Now,
Sure,
how does that vary with like climate elevation?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Up,
Yeah.
you get up, it's different, right?
Absolutely. But here's the thing, majority of those plants within that little small 23-degree, it'll acclimate. It's very dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have seen that too.
Yeah.
It's
And
very
all the
forgiving.
are all acclimating as we're evolving too.
Mhm.
So,
So there's
it's
a difference. I try to talk when I did the talk, everything from the Cannabis Science Conference to variety. You'll find them all on YouTube. The efficacy of the plant, it's surprising because it's a weed, right? And it's just smart, and all these little nuances that we worry about, it takes care of it on its own. You don't really need to play with it too much. I was just an indigenous grow. I'm down here in San Diego County. I live in Orange County, but I'm in San Diego and Southern California. And I went up to about, I want to say 5,000 feet at this Los Coyotes Indian tribe, and they're growing everything outdoors. They got about 45 varieties growing. And it snowed here like 3-4 days ago, but everywhere you go on that property, there's cannabis growing on its own. Like, they didn't plant it. It just showed up. And
I got a landrace Swiss chard in my backyard now that's just growing like a carpet.
Yep. So if you're trying to get the medicine out, I think there's lots of people that will give you their genetics because they want it. And I know in our circle, we try to stay with people. Look, you got to make some money to pay your bills for sure. I'm not telling people not to do that. And you got to keep yourself, your family, yourself, your land in a place where you can earn money to do that. That is not what we're trying to affect. But the quality of the plant that you do and what it delivers and the value adds that you guys provide to the people who use that plant and how you treat that plant is probably the most important thing you can be doing. Not just, going around and talking about my genetics is the best and trying to get your name on a strain and all that. It's just nuts. Why do all that? But So we try to pick people to work with. I mean, we've had some, and I don't name names, but there's a famous prize fighter that has 150,000 square feet, and they're just right in Palm Springs area. And I could be sitting in their lobby right now instead of talking to you guys. I mean, what's it mean to me? Maybe I'll sell 5 lights. Over there I'll send maybe 100 lights, but all they're growing is Blue Dream. Maybe even some other high THC and poisoning people, and feeling proud about that. That's not what we're all about. So we try to work with people who are really trying to get the medicine out of the plant, who prefer quality over quantity, whose goal is to. Here's the other thing that happens often: when you're all together, you're talking about a great strain, you're passing a joint around. Maybe I do vapor like a volcano. I don't burn anything in my lungs, but it sounds how spiritual the plant is. And then you go to their grow and you see how they've got them all trellised and they've got them tied up. And I'm like, really? This is how you love this plant? You strip her all her clothing off and she's up, like this and that's just nuts. Like, really, you can't play both sides of this game. You either are for the plant and for the quality and for the medicine, or you're not. And it's okay. It's okay. We may not want to work with you, or maybe we want to work with you to change what you're doing. And if you're willing to look at living soil, if you're willing to put the plant first, we can talk to you. Let's do that. So we're not going to say no, but if you're going to continue to go the path of salts, continue to go the path of poison products out the door, continue a path of have to have a Snoop Dogg or somebody put your thing out there and go to these shows that are all about just high THC stuff.
Well, think about all the plastics too that they're putting out, all the pots, all the covering, all the hoses, all that.
Oh,
it all gets trashed.
It is. It's bunk. And they throw it away. I want to tell you something else. Now, I don't know if you guys have tried it, but one of the Marley brothers that we've worked with, he's kept the plants because we can cycle by just light depth time. We can go back to veg and then reflower like a rose bush. So if you want to do something like that, it's very possible with the Sun on Demand. Some of it happened accidentally to a couple of our growers where, the light scenario changed and they were off actually they were with us at Emerald Cup. Then they panicked because the plants went into flower and we just said, hey, just change the light cycle. And sure enough, in 3 days, it came right back. So why, like your point, Tank, about why are we putting these in pots instead of living in beds? Why do we kill them and restart again? All that work. Why not cycle the plant? Put it back into veg. Bring it back into flower. Get it.
Actually keeping pure genetic of whatever that's good for
Yes.
you.
Yeah, and money and saving money. That saves money and time.
Well, I think that Sun on Demand is really beneficial for the people who are pumping out like nursery stuff too, because it keeps a lot of the, like you're saying, the UV stuff to keep the plant healthier and hardened and just healthier. But
one of the things that we're trying to do is
I can see that,
we're trying to find investor partners to do nurseries. We think that's one of the best uses for it. Because trying to find good genetics for you to grow, who do you buy it from? Like, down here, we've had issues with hop latent. We've had issues with, and some of the stuff you don't see until you're well into your grow. And so, and then now you've wasted labor, time, effort. If we could find in different geographic areas a partner to do a true joint venture partner to do genetics, then just like in food, uh, we can we can type we can grow specific genetics for specific ailments, and then those can go out to different farmers to grow and grow out and sell and earn their money from. But if you don't start with good clones and better seeds, because how do you get the taproot? Most of these guys cut off the fan leaf. It's nuts. There's a reason for a taproot. It's an early warning system too for the other plants. I mean, we're hybridizing, we're playing with this plant for our own benefit. We think for our benefit, but in the long term, it's not beneficial because Mother Nature's already figured it out. Like I said, we're not smarter than that plant. It's just not
We all
possible.
turn to dust.
Right, right. So I appreciate, I don't know what kind of conversations you've had about lighting, but it's not lighting, it's sunlight. It's sun. It's the energy of sun. So whenever you talk to a lighting company, ask them, this is how it was developed over millennia, over 10,000 this plant's been around. How are you replacing that energy from me so my plants can do what it does? How are you doing that? That's the conversation you want to have, not watts and all the other sort of par and my meters. Really? I mean, it's not that. That's the marketing side of it. That's the salesman part of it. It's just sunlight. How are you? Look at you right now, Tank. You're getting out in the sun. Exactly. That's the way it is. And if we did that, even humans, the soil is like our microbiome in our gut. It's exactly the same. So if we treat our body right, we treat the earth right, the medicine's gonna come. And by the way, we're getting more and more interest. I mean, our company is really more interested we're cannabis users since 16. I used to grow. I'm from Berkeley. I grew up in Berkeley. I'm Indian, but I was born in the Fiji Islands. And I had rheumatic fever from the islands that turned into rheumatoid arthritis. So I started growing, at a fairly early age, just for my
So
own.
I have some issues with that. I don't think it's rheumatoid, but it's arthritis. Is what helps you the best?
Oh, what do I take?
Yeah. Do you have a
Yeah,
strain that helps you the best for
yeah.
that?
What I'm doing is Harry Rose has. Do you know Harry Rose? Rosette Wellness.
Yeah, I've been seeing them live. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a
He
balance.
came on to my show first, and then
Oh,
Lobster started doing the show with him.
okay.
I met
There's
I
Lobster.
met Harry Rose. I met
Who's
Harry
Lobster?
Rose at the Lobster's. I'm sorry.
You mean
I'm
Tyler back east?
yeah. No, not Tyler.
Travis.
Lobster family. Travis. Thank you,
Travis. Yeah.
Travis.
Okay. He just bought a light
Yes.
just recently.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I know. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm really excited. Yeah. So here in Northern California, I grow up all outdoors. I don't have a tent. I live in the city. I live in Sacramento City, the
Yeah.
actual city.
Yep.
So I have my home grow that's here in the backyard and everything. So my house is 1,050 square feet. There are
Yeah.
4 people living in it. So there's no room at all for any kind of tent, any kind of anything. So everything's grown outdoors. And when you're talking about medicine and how good the sun grows, I keep telling these indoor growers this, but their bud is so pretty though. And they're like always like, my bud looks way better than your bud. I'm like, yeah, but
Oh, they'll
my
say more
stuff
than
gets you
that. They'll say,
higher.
"Oh, it's better," and "Oh, it lasts
Oh
longer."
yeah. Oh
Nah,
dude, the guys that are, oh my
it
God.
lasts about, like you said, 15 minutes, and then you're like, okay, smoking it, and it
Yeah.
has this weird. A lot of it, because they pump it up, has this weird over terpy taste that's just not natural.
No, it's not. It's not. And here's the other thing, just science, right? What happens with the LED is the buds get really tight and compacted, and they worry about the cleaning of it and trimming and all that. But But when you have a bud that's tight like this, and the
Mm-hmm.
terpenes are on the surface like this, but when you
Mm-hmm.
have an outdoor grow that's like this, you have more surface area in
Oh yeah,
between all the
Yes.
terpenes,
Preach.
right? Right. And
yeah,
so
good brother. Come
how
on.
can you be better? Like you can't be better from medicinal if you don't have all that coverage. And it isn't just what's inside the plant, it's also what's on the plant, right? The terpenes, so you need both of them to create medicine. Mother Nature just didn't say inside. And really you're growing oil. You're growing oil. You're not growing biomass,
And
right?
Esther, like you
Yeah,
said, the
and
same.
ester, exactly. Exactly. So if you can optimize that, the better everything you're going to get. And so this is why those plants were developed by Mother Nature the way they were. Do you think if Mother Nature thought that it should be a tight bud and beautiful looking and it was going to be good, it wouldn't do it? Of course it would.
Well, it all
Of
depends on
course.
where you are too in the in the whole world. It all just climatizes to where it's so smart. It knows what to do over time to get it to
Right.
last.
And so a lot of guys don't like it when I'm in conferences and talking out loud, but um, there's a difference between adaptation and mutation. You guys think you're adapting it by doing this? You're not. You're mutating it because it wants to live. Adaptation is like you and me, right? We're both males. I just happen to come from a part of the world and my ancestors where my skin had to change pigment color. That's adaptation, right?
My little brown.
Mutation is right. Mutation is if I cut all your arms and legs off and put you in a pool and call you Bob, right? I mean, that's a big difference. So when these guys think that they're master over it, they lose something else when they gain some other place, and they don't know that because they can't measure it.
I'm just
So
along for the ride.
yeah, exactly. But the thing is, just because it's popular in the dispensaries, they make the product for what they call this is what the market wants.
Oh yeah, I had
Well,
a guy come over last night with a bag of Afghan land race times Afghan land race. They didn't have a name on it, but it was supposedly Northern Lights at
yeah,
34%. And
yeah,
I pulled it out of the bag and I'm like, and it has no scent. And he goes, "Oh
nothing.
man, this is the best stuff. It keeps me high for 6 hours." And I'm thinking, what? I didn't even want to put it in my vape, man. I was like, no, thanks.
No, because you don't know what's in it. That's the problem.
Yeah. And then I gave him some of my outdoor from 2 years ago, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, I am so high right now." And I'm like, I told you, I mean, outdoors the way to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It's the best way to go. And we're just helping out people when they have issues with weather.
Yeah,
Or they
definitely.
have a
Like if I
neighbor
lived in
that's
Alaska and I needed my medicine, I would definitely probably be like, I need a sun on demand.
yeah, yeah. Or like if you're doing genetic work, or but
Yeah,
if you
that's
guys are doing that, please don't even think about us. But if you find somebody that's looking to do a nursery, or you have an indoor friend, a friend doing indoors that is limited to that, or those are the kind of guys that we would be talking to anyway. It's
yeah.
like I say, for us, of course, light sales is important to us. It keeps us going, but we're also going into food now, right? And food was always going to be our number one
Well,
thing.
and that's what I'm saying is if you have the light on demand, the most kind of UV rays, the stuff that keeps the plant healthy, and you're doing mass, trying to keep people alive with nutrition, and you want to keep the plants going and healthy and keeping disease off them, then I would definitely recommend your product over any LED for sure.
Right, right. There's a difference also in our plasma. I know a lot of guys think that it's around for a long time. The ones that everybody talks about was a sulfur bulb, they call it. It wasn't a full spectrum bulb. It didn't have UV A and B in it. So I know Big D was talking about that for a while there. Hey, plasma, da, da, da. Just educate him that the bulb we have is not the bulb he knows about way back. And
Yep.
really, the other thing is the price point. When you consider everything you're doing, it actually saves you money. In a indoor grow, like when you're putting one together, the electricity I save alone, just the electricity, I'm 60% more energy efficient than LED lights. So when you put in a light and you're replacing 8, 6, 4 LED arrays, even the ones that FOS puts out, that's 15 to 1700 watts right now, they're going the other way. They're adding more energy to try to get more throw power, and the throw power is only about 13, 14 inches. My throw power is 50 feet. So it's a big difference in comparing us to other people. You're muted yourself, Chris.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. That is a huge difference.
It is. And anybody that talks about pricing and all that, I'm glad to explain to them by numbers, not just by marketing jargon, how we save them money
Mm-hmm.
if they're going
Can
to
we
go there.
can we talk more about the similarities with the sun you had mentioned, and I really applaud that effort to try and make a light that emulates as best we can with our limits in current technology level that we have.
Uh-huh.
Um, but again, like you said, with um with your light having the UVB and UVA. But what were the other benefits? So you mentioned UVB, UVA,
Well, we're
plasma. Just
most
I just kind of because I'm new to that technology,
oh,
just kind
absolutely.
of give me like a basic little rundown, and then maybe you can talk a little more specific about your actual product, um,
Sure.
if you could.
Sure. First of all, we go from UV B all to UVA, then we go all the way up to 1650 in the infrared range. So every quarter, eighth wave, 16th wave, every permutation is there for the sun, for the plant. So what's missing in majority of the lights that are out there, I would rather see you with HPS than any LED because it has more of the sun
Mm-hmm.
spectra in it. And I'd rather see you in
Mm.
ceramic metal halide before, but it's expensive in the heat that it puts out, right? All 1,000-watt lights,
Mm.
all the 1,000-watt lights put out the same amount of BTU. If they're rated 1,000 watts, mine included, everybody's, because that it doesn't change because of the kind of the kind of tech that they create photons from. It's the amount of energy you put in it creates the amount of heat. So it doesn't matter, right? But the thing is, when I replace 4 to 5 lights in a room, you got to take those 4,000 watts out, right? So if I'm doing 4 lights against mine, I'm at 1,000. The BTU is 1/4, so that's one area. So let me answer your question though. So the sunlight, we need both UVA and B for the immune system of the plant, just like humans. So those particular frequencies bring out they work on the immune system of the plant to make it strong. On the other side of it is the infrared, and the infrared is very important for photomorgenesis, for the root structure to grow, for the inner nodes, for the trunk. It's also very good for circadian rhythm, just like humans. When you see the plants under our light indoors, you walk in there after lights out, and within 2 minutes, they're sleeping. When you go to any other kind of grow or any other kind of light, it takes them hours before they can sleep. because
So
they
that's
don't have the
like staring at your phone before bed. You sit there and your eyes are just glowing for hours. Right?
exactly. Yeah, that's why I tell everybody, humans, to make sure you have UV glasses, blue blockers, things like that when you're on your computer, and our phone. Everything right now is putting out blue light, and it's really dangerous, including grow lights. Especially when they're only focused on that. So the other thing is that there's not enough work being done. A lot of labs and universities make recommendations. There's Dr. Bugby, there's all these guys that talk about lighting. Just follow the money trail. Look at who paid for that study. And you're going to find out it's mostly LED companies that have done that. And this is why we can't even buy incandescents for our home, because those guys are so strong. You got to go to Arizona now and buy, because they've done what they call regulatory capture. They've gone and paid the politicians and everybody. So you
Yep.
put LED lights in your home.
Yep.
We took them all out in our home. I go to Arizona and pick up those incandescents and leave them in my home because it's safer. It's better for us. So so let me go back to the spectrum of sunlight. Like I mentioned before, the plant uses combinations of frequencies for different parts of its growth. And sometimes it might use blue, UVA, and green in some. They also talk about green is reflected. That's total bullshit. It is the one that penetrates and doesn't create shadow effect. Like when you look at our light, we have a banana tree in our indoor grow here. It's just our own grow, and we have avocado plants underneath it. Right? If you go to the forest, you'll notice there's all these different plants at different levels and heights. If the sun was blocked, there's no way they would grow. But it goes through the leaves. Some of the penetrates and makes it. Remember now, don't look at spectra like color, like what your eyes can see. It's like a musical instrument. It's the frequency. That's why a stand-up bass sounds so much better than a synthesized bass, because there's air movement, there's physicalness. That's the same thing about sunlight.
Right.
Sunlight,
It's our translation of what light is to us, but what light is to a plant is a totally different relationship. Like light to them is information.
yep,
It tells them, it triggers this, it triggers that. As far as when to go into flower, that's all affected by light. And again, they receive light as information. It's hard to kind of put into words how, to describe it, because we see it as the physical in the 3D, and to them it's more, like I said, it's information. It's another
yeah.
level. Their connection to the sun is not, we don't understand. Can't even begin to understand, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So
So
Everything's
light is, yeah, sunlight is frequency, particles, and wave. Right? It's one of the few things in matter that have all that together. So the particles carry the photons. The photons have the same spectra of sunlight, so it penetrates that frequency into a plant. So it's vibratory, right? It's sine waves that are coming in.
it's
It's
vibrations.
right.
Vibration.
Exactly. It's harmonics, right? So when the resonant frequency comes in, it affects different parts of the plant and different efficacies of the plant based on what's there. The difference between when we nose go into flower is because of the time. It realizes that when I'm going down to, the sun is not going to be on me as many hours as it was before. Oh, you know what? I need to have a baby. I need to do my fruit. I need to do the flower so I can keep my legacy going, right? So that's what happens. It's the time. It isn't, everybody thinks sunlight, oh, it's sunset. Can you emulate sunset? The plant doesn't see sunset. yes, the light of the earth has 14 layers. The light is coming at an angle, and whatever particles that might be in the air create the color. That's why different days, different sunlight. If you have smoke that you've had, you notice it's more redder. All those things happen because it's very much like a peacock feather. A peacock feather is brown, almost a gray color. But when the light hits it, it refracts. We see gold and purple and all that. And we think that bird has all those colors, and it doesn't. So it's the same thing with plants and humans, by the way. It isn't just plants. Anything organic in the world is looking for that vibratory frequency seas of sunlight.
That makes sense. I just did a study about frequency, like the healing frequencies, and I
Yep.
never knew that frequencies actually carry color.
Yep. Well, they don't carry color. They have the vibratory frequency of what is used to create that color to us.
Correct.
Right. So, which is why when you see people doing yoga,
cool.
Yeah, it is. It's all tied together, by the way. When people do yoga, they look at different colors and they, well, the this chakra, that chakra, that came from Hinduism way back when they knew that frequency created that color. That's the frequency you're in, right? And heat is that way too. Infrared comes from heat, right? You get heat from that because it's vibrating in a certain way that creates that heat. So we have to look at what the sun provides completely different. Like a dog will see that color differently than you'll see it, right? So which one is right? What the dog sees or what you see? Right? You don't know.
Whatever keeps you together.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it is that we have to make you're absolutely right. And what happens is, as humans, we need to make rationale of it so we can live with it.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't go completely berserk thinking, only, like it's not there, When I gave a talk just recently in Morelia, Mexico, Kat and I, my business partner, main owner of our company, everybody was talking about, it's one of those, and more this is happening, by the way, after COVID, a lot of people decided they're never going to be in a position where they don't have food. They can't go to the grocery store. There's nothing there, And so it started more and more families now. They're more communal living. They're going onto big properties, and it's like it used to be before, where you'd help each other, And I think it's amazing. So we went and gave a talk about this, and I said, there's a lot of camaraderie. A lot of people are, like good friends. They share and all that, but very little collaboration, where they collaborate together. They actually help each other, not just help themselves and hope that somehow, So one of the things I said at the end of the talk is, if you guys don't think we're all on this together, you're really fooled. Maybe you're siloed right now, but imagine this right now. And this is probably a good time to say this to you guys, because we're about to go see an eclipse. Or maybe see it depending on where you are. But all of us, including you, are on the surface of the earth right now, and the earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
Wow.
1,000 miles an hour. All of us are on the earth and not flying off, right? But even more important, that earth is flying through space at 97,000 miles an hour.
What? Holy cow.
And you tell me we're not together? Like we're all together, man. And so we have to think in spaces, how do we help each other?
That's deep.
How do we help the plants that help us?
Yep.
How do we help the planet? Because, we're a part of it. We're all a part of Mother Nature. We are nature. We are love. I know that sounds very esoteric and foo-foo, but really it's the way it is. If we don't do this, so that's our company, that's how we work. But
Oh yeah.
So going back to the frequencies and color, anything else I can answer for you guys on sunlight?
Red Primo, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I do no-till dry farm, but I'm not very familiar at all with indoor growing with lights. But I had a question.
Sure.
I think a lot of other people. You mentioned that it's about 60% more efficient, and you don't talk about par or anything like that. But you have a 50-foot throw, so I'm assuming that you guys have done enough studies and grows to know what the optimum. And I don't know if it would be square footage or cubic feet for an optimum grow for per bulb, and what the average energy per grow cycle would be, or something along, how the money would compare.
Sure. We sort of under promise and over deliver. We tell everybody one light covers 100 square feet of canopy. However, your comment about cubic is very interesting because nobody talks about cubic. Our light works like a aquarium. We fill the whole room cubic, 100 cubic feet of particles. It's like water. And so anything you put in the middle of it gets that energy that I'm talking about. It isn't just a flat
it's more
surface.
about the frequency coming off of that light really than the actual spectrum, kind of, you're saying.
Yes, it's the particles and the frequencies. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it penetrates everything, and it keeps going too.
That's
if
awesome.
You put a matte white, there's a Rust-Oleum product that gets 96% reflection. But the problem with the other kind of light sources is it's so weak in its throw power, particularly LEDs, that it, and I'll tell you something else is important to know too. Our bulb doesn't have a point source. The creation of the photons don't come from a one point. It comes from a globe. It's a 30 millimeter, like the size of a golf ball. And so every surface area emits photons, and it continuously creates those photons. And it's sitting in a quartz crystal bulb, so it's transparent to UV all the way up into the infrared range, or whatever's created inside, right? So the whole room is full of energy for the plant to grow. Now, right, Primo, you're a dry farmer. We work with one other very well known, at least up in the Emerald Cup area. Her name is Sunshine Johnson. She has.
Yeah, you caught my attention, and I heard that.
Yeah, that she does. I think hers is loopy fruits. She's pretty well known for loopy fruits, which is one of her genetics. The reason she uses us isn't because, and in fact, at the very beginning, she didn't want to tell her friends that she had a light, because she's an outdoor grower, But for overwintering your mothers, to getting your starts going, so that, heaven forbid, you don't get the fires they had up there, or you don't have other particulate matters, or your neighbor isn't, putting glyphosate coming over your soil, or whatever the hell else goes on sometimes. She hardens the plant. She does her genetic work to look for different chemovars to be able to come up with different medicine for specific ailments. That's why she uses the light. She doesn't use it to grow. She goes for the teens to get the immune system, so that when you do put it out there, if there's any viroids, you're not going to get it, so that the bricks is high up before you put it outdoors, so that any pathogens, or heaven forbid, PG&E doesn't put out mites to be able to protect their lines, all that stuff. So that's the reason why she uses one light, just one light, to help her. And you want to, and especially if you've done some work and you got a great mother, you want to protect her, instead of taking the chance to bring her outdoors and put her back in again, not knowing what's out there at the time, you know. And some of these things are so small, you're not going to physically see it, but it'll take a while before the plant shows it, as you well know. So that's the reason. So, and Red Primo, I think also you missed maybe the beginning. We're not a lighting company. We're a biomimicry, sustainability, and we're trying to help people, plants, and planet. We're not about selling lights, but we're about helping Mother Nature and the plants
No,
first.
I did hear all that, and I appreciate it. But all the same, you know, we're all growing our own medicine, and one of the reasons we're growing our medicine is, you know, largely, you know, first we learned that we can't get it at an affordable price, and then we learned that we can grow something that's better than what we could buy anyways, and cleaner, and
Yep.
you know, then you really get into it, but it's sometimes that you know, those nickels and dimes that, you know, attract you in the first place, and that's why I was asking that question.
Absolutely.
I'm already here.
Yeah. No worries. So I often say this too at meetings. It isn't that, you know, I'm one of the inventors of it. It took 3 of us to do this. We're not here for self proclamation. We're also not here. If we could have done it out of a paper bag, we would do it. Right? We're not about. Obviously, we need to sell lights to make money in our company, but it's also providing what Mother Nature does. We have not been good at protecting our planet, and we don't have to now talk about climate change as though it's going to be in the future. You can see it every day happening. So how do we help small farmers? And really, actually, it's the other way around. How do we help the plant and planet first? And then the farmers behind that. So the way that we saw was just to copy Mother Nature. We don't know of anything that's more sustainable, more long than Mother Nature. No matter what. We saw it during COVID. When everything was left alone, it all flourished on its own without our intervention. In my country, in India, there were families crying on their rooftop because they could actually see the Himalaya mountains, and they've had their 5 generations never been able to see it because of the pollution.
That's sad. That's sad.
It is sad, but
yeah, the whole
that's the
thing
name
with all
of
those
progress.
contrails too, chemtrails, contrails are blocking the sun and stuff. Man, on top of having the need for vitamin D and sunshine.
Well, people should grow their own plants, their own medicine, and their own food, and that's what we've also forgotten is food is our medicine, and we've allowed too many middlemen to get in the middle of what goes into our mouth.
Here's my pharmacy.
And this is why companies like Monsanto and Syngenta and all these companies are making hands over fist money because they get in the middle of what we really need to live.
Yep.
So that's another area where. Go ahead.
Oh, can you? Because Big D would like to know what your degrees are. What degrees did you get? And
oh, sure. I'm a mechanical engineer, a material scientist, surface modification, and I'm also a plasma physicist. So I've been working in this field. My company in that area is called Ultimate. It's my middle name, AULTIMUT.com. Ultimate, AULTIMUT.com. Our founder, Kat Donnelly, Dr. Donnelly, she's got 2 masters in engineering and her PhD out of MIT. But we've been growing cannabis since we were 16 years old and using it. All lots of different medicinal plants where I know I don't look like a hippie. I shaved my head, but I grew up in Berkeley in
Did
the
you get to go on the
70s,
hippie
an
trail?
amazing time. And I'm a musician first. I love music. been writing music and performing and all that. That's my number one passion. But it's not the music you guys might think of in the way of guitars and all that. It's the music of Mother Nature. It's the sound of the wind going through the trees. It's the sound of water hitting a
I love
stone.
that.
Look, it's
Music
the
of the
sound of birds.
spheres.
You know,
That's
that's
really
where
cool.
music came from.
Yep.
So
I was
That's really
that,
cool.
Matt.
did that answer your question?
I forgot. Did
Yes, and
I asked you about what strain you liked for different types of arthritises. Did you tell me, or I didn't?
No, I went right to Harry Rose and his tinctures. He is now with Soulful. He was Treatwell, Rosette Wellness. Now he's with Soulful, which is in, I think, Santa Rosa. I used to I mentioned Hindu Kush to you. A lot of the sativas are missing in the indoor grows, and because they worry about the long term. We cut 1 week off of veg, typically in a commercial grow, so they can get one more grow a year. So they really love us for that. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because majority of the ones that helped me over the years were the sativas more than the indica.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
And so right now, this Indian tribe up in the mountain is growing in soil at about 6,000, maybe 5,000 feet in the San Diego Mountains by Palomar, about 45 varieties of cannabis, and I'm now testing out a couple more on my body, just personally trying to look at. But Tank, if you, my email address is sun, sun, at Azentive, AZENTIVE.com. Sun at Azentive, AZENTIVE.com.
Okay.
Azentive stands for Another Zen Initiative.
Okay.
You can go to our site, you'll see our philosophy, our vision, our mission,
Right.
and very little about our light. But if you want to know about the light, you go to thesunondemand.com. Thesunondemand.com. So if you will email me, I can send you the regime of the ones that I've tried over the years and what has helped me over the years in my rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And my
great.
rheumatic fever. So I'm not a young guy. I'm vegan and gluten free and lots of medicinal machines. I'm 75 now, I think. Yeah, 74, 75.
Wow, you don't look
damn it,
75.
dude. You look
You
around
don't look 75, man.
53, 52.
Yeah. Dude, I
Thank
thought
you.
he was 40.
Thank you. It's, I don't do alcohol. Every once in a while, my dad does a toast or something. I'll take it, but I owe it mostly to medicinal plants and eating out of the garden rather than eating where people have processed my stuff. I don't trust anybody coming between me and what's in my body and the energy I need. So
It's wonderful.
you just have to do that in life. Is treat yourself best if you can and your family.
Nice. Now, I got a question for you for the light.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer, but why don't you need to be able to dim it?
Because the sun doesn't dim.
I keep
That's what
telling
I
you
thought the
guys,
answer would be.
I grow full sun with no shade, and they give me shit for it.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, there's no reason. The plants are smart enough that they will shut down and sleep even in the middle of the day. They're not stupid. They got more genetics than humans. So we think we know smarter. We don't. I mean, if genetics is the way you measure, intelligence, then cannabis has 35,000 genes and humans have 25,000. So it's going to run rings around you. You think you're smart to try to overpower it. Hell, it grows in sidewalks. It grows in the top of the Himalaya mountains. I mean, nobody's up there treating it. It's just growing.
Right.
So, yeah, no. And on top of that, it's healing. It's the sun is a double-edged sword. Just like life is, the yin and yang of life, right? The sun UVC can be very harmful, but UVA and B are very helpful. So when it gets infected, the C helps a lot, and A and B help a lot. So, and if you can't go to sleep, that's when you get your energy. You don't have the infrared, then you can't sleep fast. It takes a long time for its metabolism to get to the point where it knows it needs to go to sleep. It doesn't have the trigger, which Mother Nature gave it, and which it developed under. So this is the reason we're not showing off that we made this amazing light. We just copied Mother Nature. We just said, hey, this is what that is. Can we just make it? And the best science in the world is when you copy Mother Nature. Man science.
Yeah. I'm you know what I'm thinking right now is why aren't these our house lights?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's
why aren't we having like little bulbs? Why do I have to buy incandescent light bulbs or LED light bulbs or any of those type of lights? How come I can't have one of these?
Because of regulatory capture. Because of the large LED companies have talked to our politicians, talked to our electric companies,
pharmaceuticals, all of it.
And then you have the building codes that say it has to be UL listed, and so that's a whole UL is a private company. It is not a government agency. It's a private company, but they control all of the cities and counties and states adopt their building code rather than do all the research to create their own building code. So they adopt theirs because it's been tested. So there's all kinds of paid money, exactly what he's talking about, regulatory capture.
It's a mafia.
Yeah.
It's basically a mafia.
It's a fucking racket.
And so so that's the reason why you can't buy. I mean, you have to go to Arizona now to buy incandescent lights. You can't buy them here anymore. So it's nuts, and it's hurting the population. There's studies showing in Spain where a whole city changed all their infrastructure lighting to LEDs, and women are getting more breast cancer and men are getting more prostate cancer because of the frequency of the blue light. It's not good for you.
Got to thin the herd, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's one way to do it, or create COVID.
Crazy.
Yeah, or create COVID.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it did do. It did kill the weak and stuff. So yeah.
Then you have someone like one of the richest men in the world, saying, planting trees is not going to help the earth.
What?
Yeah. Bill Gates said planting trees doesn't help the earth. You know why? Because he doesn't have any interest in it. That's why.
No.
He doesn't want to promote anything he doesn't have money in.
Nope, he doesn't want to do that.
So just so I get it straight real quick, Sun Azenta?
Oh, Sun at Azentive, AZENTIVE.com. Maybe I can. Oh no, it doesn't allow you to do chats here. But oh yeah, it does. Hold on here. Let me put it in the chat.
So there's a important question out there. Are you an edibles guy? I heard that you use the was a salve, or you use some type of
vape volcano.
Volcano vape.
Yeah, the old school volcano. Yep.
Old school volcano. Nice. I have a vape box. Vape Brothers vape box. Love that thing. It was given to me by them. So that being said, I bought the Volcano, and I prefer this, even though I know that they gave it to me. So I
Hmm.
realize that it's a little tainted, but the ease of loading it and unloading it, and the directness of it, I do prefer over the Volcano. Though I had the original Volcano with the dial and everything, that's the one I had. I haven't tried the new ones yet. But yeah, I enjoy those. Those are really nice.
Anything that doesn't ignite uh, and create particles that go in your lung, where you get it to the point where you're extracting the oil vapor rather than the biomass, is going to be the best for you,
Mm.
right? There's, I mean, look, yes, of course, when I have a bunch of buddies over and they're doing a joint, I'll take it, but not every day, because that particle matter is not really, it's not good for your lungs. And the other thing is, uh, when certain salts that use, for instance, Eagle 20, people use, I know it's nasty as stuff to grow, but when they don't test when you
Don't
ignite it.
use that. Don't use that.
I know, I know.
ET.
Yeah, it creates
Don't
chemicals
use Eagle
when
20.
you ignite it, and people don't know that because nobody's testing the cannabis at flame. And so a lot of these chemicals that they use convert when heat is applied to them, and so you're getting people sick. My comment also in public forums are that, and I don't know what the number is, but it's in the high 90s of legal cannabis in dispensaries is poison. Just
It's a
is.
shame. It's a shame.
That's crazy.
Shame.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you guys caught exactly what he said, because he didn't say it as explicit as it's implied, but that means even all the legal stuff that's organic and allowed to be put on cannabis is not tested at combustion.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And the products, they're so worried about the THC that they spend all their time worrying about, whoa, gee, does it have THC? That all the other harmful compounds, because the plant is bioremedial, right? This is why they flush. And I always ask, why are you guys flushing? What are you flushing out of it? Like, what's the point? Why are you doing tissue culture? So what happens with our cannabis is we treat the symptom and not the cause, very much like our health industry. We treat the symptom and not the cause. So in the case of tissue culture, in the case of flushing, instead of solving why you have these chemicals in there that you have to flush, we flush it. We put it in anyway. And it's the same thing, like I say, in the medical industry. They want to send you home with a prescription, some pain pills and antibiotic, but they never solve the problem. Why did I get this thing? Right? So that way they can have you keep coming, and the drug companies can keep sending you stuff. And it's a big business. So every one of us are a money-making machine for the government, basically. And guess what? We paid to do that because they collect taxes and then they use the money, but they don't ask us what they're going to spend it on.
Exactly.
So cannabis is the same way. And the reason, Red Primo, I'm saying that is the regulatory system of legal cannabis, which is 70% of the legal cannabis in California, is indoor grown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very, very fortunate that the city I live in, the city limits anyways, is the only one in my county that allows outdoor growing. I mean, the plants have to be 15 feet off the property line and can't be visible from public spaces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, and if I have soil that I'm capable of dry farming, it's that tells you the soil of the whole county or large parts of it, where they don't allow indoor growing, and it's like a crime.
It is. It is. I agree. The whole thing is treated like a crime. And it's a damn plant, right? It's a plant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the thing is, though, the guys that are supporting it are the guys that don't want you guys to be successful. They don't want the small farmers. They don't want people growing it themselves. They don't want, eventually when it becomes more legal, I don't know how that can be more legal, I guess, when the federal government, then none of us are going to be in the business. It's going to be the beer companies. It's going to be the wine guy. It's going to be the people that have the money to pay the politicians to be able to be in favor, And so
It's when the MSOs can consolidate their operations into regional facilities instead of having to set up a complete operation in each state. That's the only more legal we're ever going to get, and it's going to give us more restrictions.
which is why we want to promote quality, not quantity, but quality. It's like having a good restaurant in the middle of Sebastopol or some little tiny town. People will find their way to that restaurant. It could be in a back alley. Word of mouth, people go, okay, this is quality. There's always going to be that. It happens in the wine world. I mean, that's why IPA beers and beer brewery is so popular right now. They'll pay 3 to 4 times the price of a can of Hamm's or Coors beer to get what they want. It's the same thing that happened in cannabis, but we have to do quality. If we do the same thing everybody else is doing, it doesn't make any sense.
Organically grown craft cannabis is the only future that the little guys are going to have. That's the only
Correct.
niche you're going to be able to fill.
Correct.
And that's going to be the niche you're going to want to start working on now,
And that's if you know somebody that
because
knows
if you're
somebody.
trying to go big, there, trust me, like he said, there's multi-state operators. There's guys that are connected in government, and they're going to get the correct contracts and international, right? And I mean, imagine when it goes federal and you can start shipping this shit all over the world. I mean, the contracts that are going to go out, $1 billion
Pitch
contracts.
black here.
We are, like you said, they're not even thinking of us. They're not looking to help the home grower. They're looking to make this a big money business for people. So focus on your craft cannabis. Focus on being organic, being natural, and growing high quality cannabis.
Oh, sun is coming back.
What's that?
I said the sun is coming back. I've been in totality for the past 3 minutes.
And you're all still alive? Come on.
Yeah. He said he couldn't get to his phone, the phone with the camera. So yes, we're all a bunch of Gen Xers and baby boomers. Some of the people are baby boomers, and some of them are Gen Xers, and they're very much challenged when it comes to electronics.
Oh, I appreciate that underhanded compliment. Thank you. Hey, you need to get somebody in Oklahoma on because it just ended here. It's just now starting there.
I know THC Garage is probably out there with his kids, though.
We'll have somebody
video I don't want.
Okie grower.
Yeah.
Okie grower.
Okie grower.
Because it just started there.
Yeah.
Everybody's all.
Heck yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, we're not going to see it. I'm in California.
Yeah. I could see the Corona, the full Corona. I looked at it. My eyes are still good.
Yeah, we're not going to see it too. We're going to see that. We see a little bump, a little ridge.
I'm not blind.
Tiny a little ridge of it going by, but we're not going to be able to see it at all. Really, not the way all the guys in the audience.
Yeah, well, it was pretty neat.
Heck yeah. Well, now I gotta know Is there now a new plant in your yard, and is it asking you to feed it? I'm just wondering. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long.
Can you guys
Feed
hear
me,
me or no?
baby, feed
Yeah,
me.
you just triggered everybody's shit to go and
Oh,
flower
there's
the
a
eclipse.
controller. All right, here we go. Wow,
Oh, whoa! Here we go.
here we go.
Cool.
Can't really see it.
Cool.
Yeah, you can. It's
Yeah,
showing.
Yeah,
we can.
it's showing up.
It's showing.
I got a welding lens covering my camera.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude. We can see it.
it's not total. Yeah, or it's just starting, I guess. So yeah, it looks
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
What's
from
right
tell.
the
next to it? Is that a
coming
planet?
from about the 4 o'clock spot.
I think I'm not sure.
Because on mine I had the same, but mine was a little further away.
Oh, this is sick. Here on the Guerrero Grow Show, Eclipse of the Sun. This is
Do you
sick.
have the
Here
full
you go.
corona yet? I mean, on the camera I can't see it, but I
No,
hear.
no, no.
I can see it a lot better with
Right.
not through the camera. You can see it's like barely like a little crescent piece.
Yeah, well,
This is
when it hits full totality, you'll see the solid corona ring around the whole thing. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, this is so cool.
this is so cool. We get to see it, and we don't have to invade Corey's neighborhood.
Yes.
Well, everybody,
Oh,
this is
I
kind of
see
like
it now.
me
Here it
across the
is. There it
world.
is. You can see it. You can see it. It's all like on the top right of it. It's on the top right. Sarah, come here. You can see the eclipse. Somebody in Oklahoma is doing the eclipse right now, showing us the eclipse. Okay.
Look how dark the sky. Oh, well, he's got his lens on. That's probably. I take that
Yeah,
back.
Yeah.
you can see it. You can see it going
He
over
ain't
But
it.
from
it
Oh,
did get that
Oklahoma.
whoa.
dark.
Chrissy's from
There you
Texas.
go. See the corona?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas, baby. That's a Texas
Oh
eclipse right
yeah,
That's
there.
that's without the
we can.
lens.
Yeah, we can see the flying saucer right next to it. That's sick.
That's Starlink.
Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So we got the plasma expert on. Does he got comments about what's happening?
Well, it's Mother Nature. I don't know much. I mean, all we know is one heavenly body is in front of another one, right?
Oh yeah.
It appreciate
So there's
you actually appreciate the fact that everything on this planet gets its energy from that.
oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to get windy here.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I'm
There it
in
is.
in Northern
Look how the
California.
beams. Look how the beams are changing.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And
so I'm in here in Northern California in Sacramento, like I said, and the winds just started picking up right now more. They started picking up like I want to say 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes ago, but now they're picking up even more.
so who's next in totality? Because it didn't. Did you say Corey? Is he going to be in totality at some point today?
Yeah, he's up in
Yeah, I
Maine.
think yeah, yeah.
I mean, no,
It's
I
supposed
think
to
they
hit
did say
him around.
Maine,
Hey
but I
babe,
don't
let me
know
try
the
that one.
time.
Interrupted
I want
us.
to see what that one, the different shade looks like.
Yeah, we're getting a partial. We're supposed to have a sliver, and then going
Oh,
like over towards Boston, and like you said, up towards Maine. Further
yeah.
east, it's supposed to get a total. Yeah.
When you get the sliver, though, like pay attention to the shadows because I know the last one that happened here, like in September or August, something like that. It was
Hmm.
really cool because all the leaves, like all the shadows, were like half moons on the ground. Like I didn't get
So
that
I
this
know that
time.
So I know that they're doing experiments right now about I think they're talking about the electromagnetic, uh, like they're measuring the changes, the fluxes in it. I think that's what I was reading that they're doing the experiments right now while it's doing it. So it'd be interesting to see what they say.
I'm about to put my phone on the charger, guys.
No.
I just got the low battery. So,
All right. Let's see.
I'll show you the plant real quick.
All right. There we go. Yes.
I wish I could show you what I just saw. I was looking through a telescope and I was able to see a solar flare. I was able to see a solar flare. Yeah, look.
I appreciate you letting me out of timeout, Chris.
No, it was
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, you could talk. You could talk, and
Yes,
I
but
was
I
giving
also can listen. I also
doctor. I was giving son his
you
time.
don't know me
I
well
was just
enough. I
making.
definitely am capable of letting a lecturer speak when they're speaking and listen. But anyway, I appreciate your faith. I appreciate the faith.
What, baby?
And I thought
Yeah.
talking was necessary because when I was watching this show, it was dead space all the time.
Oh, jeez.
Now I
Shots
talk too
fired.
much.
Shots fired.
Yeah, it seems like I remember a begging of people to come on, help you out.
Yes. Oh man. Oh man.
We're friendly folk in the South. We talk.
Yes.
Anyway, Eclipse was cool. It's amazing how fast
Oh yeah.
it happened.
Yes. Yes. It was awesome. I can't wait to see what they find. What happened? Why are the winds picking up? Is that there was those solar winds hitting us at a different angle? What's going
So,
on?
did that
You know what
prove
I
that
mean?
the moon and the Earth and the sun, everything is flat? Have we
No,
settled it?
no. Yeah. I
Don't go
don't think
there.
it's flat.
Oh, I went there.
I don't know. I've been to Texas, man. It's pretty flat there. Pretty flat there.
We do have hill country, but it's not mountains, that's for sure.
No, yeah.
Okie Grower, your garden looks good.
Yes, it does. Hold on, let's see it. There we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's the old sour from THC Garage.
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
I had
Nice.
2 plants in here,
got
but
it.
this one took over, so I had to pull the other
Oh,
one out.
boom. There we go.
Oh, Okie Grower, he's the one that you did your first grow show with, right, Chris? When you were
Yes,
Yep.
Okie Grower is
Yeah.
yep. He is the
yeah,
first
yeah.
one I did with the Grow Show.
Did you do more
I hope
after
to.
that, or was that the one?
Uh, no, that is the that no. There's TAC Garage also. So like trying to get growers to come on is like trying to herd
Hurting. Yeah.
kittens. Yeah. So yeah, trying to nail those people down to a specific. It'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. That like you're already here. Let's do it right now. That's pretty much what you would have to do. Like I would have to take over the show and have Okie Grower do a tour of his garden and be that as the
Spontaneous.
show. Spontaneous, yes.
It's a
Uh,
happening.
I, we are very spontaneous type of people. Very spontaneous. If you
Yeah.
have time, you have time, and I'm thankful for Son's time. I'm glad he was able to come over here and talk to us about this
Yeah. Thanks.
because I've been curious about it, and ever since I heard it from Travis, I've been really super curious of it because I think it's going to be awesome to see that grow. Uh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Now, Son, I know a lot of people are hung up on the price, and is there any kind of uh, I feel like
Promo
people
code?
would probably you have promo. Yeah, I didn't want to say promo code
10% off?
because I feel like I wasn't like a way to work with people and their budgets if they are trying to get the medicine and they that are in in need of this.
Do you have financing?
Do you have
Financing.
financing? Because you're on mute, by the way, son. Just so you know.
Yeah, we could probably arrange for financing. We're a small company, so we can't finance it ourselves, but we have people that can do that. And for guys like you that we know what you're doing it for, you know, typically the light's at 74, but I would do it for $6,000.
Nice. That is a
Hey, discount's
substantial.
a discount for sure.
Yeah.
That is a substantial discount.
Yeah.
Substantial. Yeah.
Because I know where your heart is. I know what you're trying to do. And look, we've got I don't know who it was that was talking about organic growing and all that's going to be the best. Well, I think you also have to create a little bit of a collective. So let me give you a couple ideas that I think works. We're putting one together with the farmers that work with us already. But right now, we got all these homozygous cannabis genetics that are out in the marketplace that, you know, a lot of runts everywhere, which is a lemon, I think it's a lemon gelato mix. They're all just trying to go high THC. They don't understand secondary metabolites are important and all the other compounds, combinations for specific ailments and such. So I think one of the things might be a good way for you guys to go, and let me, and please don't take this as arrogance in the way I'm suggesting it.
No,
But
don't worry, we won't.
yeah, but if you all collectively work with each other and choose a specific either ailment or area, and everybody work at their optimum and grow it like Mother Nature, and that way you're not all doing the same genetics, but
Yeah.
separate genetics. And then when
Mm-hmm.
someone has an issue, you can send them to the guy that's doing that, and then you all share a little bit of the income off of each other. So you put a little bit into the kitty, and then, you know, by helping each other out, you all earn off of everything everybody else does.
Right.
And this way, you're supporting each other. You're not growing the same thing, so that you compete against each other and you help each other. So it's a true collaboration. I wrote this up for another group to do, and so that might be another way to do it. But if you don't, and if you stay with the current program or what everybody else does, you will be buried. Guarantee you that. The big companies will come in and do what's popular in the market, and they'll just wipe it out. And that's not a good thing.
No, no, it's not at all.
So I like to be a part of that collective too. Our company does. And because there are situations where we need to change the tech by filtering. A lot of people like to do that, especially if you are looking at, like Harry did we did it with him to come up with a single plant extract that's 20 to 1, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Without to the point where
I knew that.
we're extracting. We're not doing isolates and mixing it. We're actually created for the good thing, right? This is not like Monsanto where we do it where it's licensable and you can only buy it from them. And that's not what we're doing. We're looking at what's the efficacy of the medicine that comes out of it and what's it good for. Is it good for autism? Is it good for, the veterans for specific pain ailments? Is it good for, so, and I think the plant, and then the other thing is we're doing it for is we're also trading genetics amongst ourselves, right? We're not selling it to each other. We're not going, oh, here's a $5,000 clone you can buy. This is all about people sharing the genetics.
Yep.
So it opens up a good door for a way to work together, where not just to be friends and have the same core values and all that, but also to help each other. Because that's the only way I believe that it's gonna not bury you, and also you can be productive, you can be helpful to each other the way community used to be,
Right.
and if we don't do that, I think it becomes problematic, and we're going to be fighting some people with politicians they have in their pocket to a lot of money being thrown at it. And
I've been saying we need a grower super PAC.
Yep.
We need somebody fighting for us. We need a bunch of lawyers fighting for us. I've been saying that. I feel like I'm screaming into the abyss that we need somebody fighting for our rights. We need somebody that's going to be like how the
Eat it
NRA
like
is
tomatoes.
against when they start talking about their anything to do with guns, they jump on that thing. And we need somebody like that for us, that if they start talking about taking growers' rights away, that they'll go jump on them quick too. So it's I don't know what's going to take. I see what's going on in other countries like it was France and with the farmers over there, and it's just
Absolutely.
we
Well, you can understand why we're concentrating also on food, right? Not just medicinal plants. But the thing is,
yes.
the medicinal plant people, and we tried to do food, but Cargill and Monsanto and all these big guys came after us. They also tried to buy us, but we're not going to sell out to them. I'm not. We could make a lot of money right now by just licensing this off to people, but we're not doing it. And as long as we can last, but still, even past that, my moral compass won't allow us to do it. Just not happening. I'd rather have it defunct than give it to those guys. But to I don't know if I answered all the questions on Spectra, but I can share one or two slides if you want.
Oh yeah.
Show it. Is that something you want, or you want to just do it by talk? It's up to you. I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, please please tell
we
us
all
about
like
the
visual
spectrum
aids.
right here, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we love pictures. Let's
Sure.
go.
So log in to create an account to send this stream to your account. Okay, let me see. I guess I'm not sure. Oh, log in.
Did you bump the guest?
Yeah, Chris kicked him.
What
Man,
happened,
Chris,
Chris?
so subtle. So
No,
Man,
subtle.
no, no,
Flick of
no.
the
Oh,
switch.
I was on mute the whole time, and I was all like,
Yeah,
"Well, yeah,
yeah.
that just
Yeah.
happened."
I
So
know
what
the
he did,
feeling.
if
I
you
know
just
the feeling.
what he just did was, if you just heard what he said, "Oh, log in. Oh, okay." So that made him get booted out, and he has to now log into his StreamYard and go
Yeah,
through
yeah.
that way and
Welcome to that.
stuff.
Well, he's a
So
chief technology officer, so he ought to be able to figure that out pretty quick.
yeah, so that's what just happened. So yeah, that just happened.
But I like the guy. I mean, the plasma, I mean, the technology is going to be the technology, but it ain't there for us yet. I mean, it's just not. Or, I mean, it's not for me. I mean, maybe somebody else got bigger,
Yeah. No,
bigger wallet.
I think I understand where you're coming from. That is a steep thing
You'll never recoup the
for
cost.
you.
They can show it
Oh
on
yeah,
paper.
yeah. No,
If
this is
somebody
not for somebody
out there
like
wants to
you,
buy me
dude.
some,
No,
I would
no,
say if his
no,
room's
Yeah,
still
no.
in
This is
play.
I'm not
more.
sure. I
This
can
is
go.
more for somebody like Tank. This is more
I
somebody like
can't afford a $7,000
Hey,
light. No
I
way.
saw a lot of Kool-Aid
no.
drinkers
That's a
on the
lot of
air.
No,
Kool-Aid
I
no, no, no,
noticed.
no,
drinking.
no, no.
But
That's more for like somebody that wants it for medicinal purposes and stuff.
Well, but
Well,
That
all use
cares
is
about
medicinal.
the
All use
medicine,
is
and you
medicinal.
know what I'm saying.
I know that there is an
So
additional commercial use, Chris, and that when I was talking about the dry farming, and when you mentioned Sunshine Johnson's name, it caught my attention because uh, she grows. She has she's a commercial grower, and she has one of
yes,
his lights. I know that she grows from clones, which I dry farm, but I grow from seed, and I'm not sure I know she has a little bit better soil than what I do, but growing from a clone would be it's a different challenge. I mean, getting it to acclimate and to get the roots down, and you need every bit of health on that plant you can get.
Well, and like he
You can't.
mentioned,
You got to have it.
sterilization for HLVD and stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah, I
because
mean,
the
I
clone
get
roots
all
grows
that.
this
Like, I'm
way,
not
goes
throwing any
down.
shade on the
Yeah.
technology at all. I mean,
all right, he's
plasma.
back. He is back.
There he goes. He
There
got
we
it.
go. He got it.
When
Yeah.
we were just chatting a little bit about using the technology and why the clones for dry farming and stuff are so important, because if they stutter and they don't have a chance to recover because you're not watering them, and you can't water them, they won't recover. So it was like, we were talking about how having every bit of optimal health for a clone transplanting to be intended for dry farming would be so important.
Yeah, and I think just getting the hardening done before you put it out, because typically people, like I've seen Sunshine Johnson do this, where she will put it under a T5 first, and then she'll gradually put it into like high pressure sodium, maybe CMH, and then put it under sailcloth, and then take it out there because it's slowly hardening the plant. But with ours, you can just take it under the light and put it right outdoors. It takes about a day to acclimate to all the other, environmental situation that it's going into, but it pretty much keeps going because it's already under sunlight, right? And the immune system is built up. The roots, much larger than it would be any other way. So it's ready to go the minute you put it out there. We also pop seeds.
It's ready to go from the perspective of the light, correct? The fact that your light helped it ready to handle the sun because you emulate the sun so well. But it's not acclimated towards temperature. You still have the consideration of when you're
Oh,
putting a plant
absolutely.
out
That's what I was saying.
is temperature, and you're not hardened off to that, and you still may want to baby that plant with a little, little hot house, something, a little hoop house or something to give it some protection and warmth. It's not like, you can put it under your light and then just throw it right outside.
No, that's what we do.
From the
We
perspective
actually
of
do that.
light, I can agree with, but temperature is still a big consideration when putting them out.
Yes, it is. But I told you recently we did it up at about 5,000 feet at an Indian reservation from right out of the light and out, and it was colder. Even went through a frost cycle and all that, and was fine. Now, obviously, it's going to retard a little bit during that, but it doesn't have to be at 78 degrees like a lot of people think it should be. It's, and again, Big John, I respect what you're saying. I think it's also the genetics. Like if you're trying to do a tropical genetic in the middle of Humboldt County or, something like that, yeah, of course, it's got to do that. But if you're taking within the latitude of the Earth, similar latitude, then you should be fine. It's all on what it is you're growing. You can't make a blanket statement, and I'm not making one. But I would agree with you. Yes. So there's abiotic conditions and biotic conditions, and so if all of them are close, that's a pretty resilient plant. And then when you have people who just go seed to seed every year outdoors, I mean, it makes it. Sunshine certainly does it with no problem. She's in red. She's right by the Lost Coast, a little bit inland. Forgot the name of the town. Red, something like that, up in Humboldt.
Redway. No,
Redlands.
it's Redway.
Redway. Yeah,
Redway?
you're right.
Redway.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's in Redway. And so, but it's a beautiful piece of land. I've been there. It's got all the redwoods, it's got a great mycelium network. It's amazing land. So for her to do dry farming there, the other thing, Big John, I don't know if you're on, if you can grow outdoors and do a great job, please don't buy anybody's light, including mine. This is not about selling lights. This is about providing, emulating Mother Nature as best you can. And this light is not perfect. It's not, look, the sun, we're just talking about the sun and the eclipse. The sun provides 374,000 watts of energy in a square meter on the surface of the earth. You think with a 1,300 watt light that I have, I'm going to be able to copy that? There's no way. So, but I'm closer to it than it is. And I fill up the room with all the frequencies and particles of sunlight. And that's what helps the plant, just being in that energy. But if there's anything else I can answer to you about plasma lights, or I'll be glad to. Here, hold on. Let me get the slides up, and then I can share a few. I don't want to do a marketing or presentation or anything like that, but let me just share.
Do you have lower wattage lights in the future? Or do you think the watts that you're at is the ideal, so therefore no incentive to go lower in wattage?
Why would you want to go lower in wattage? Is the question.
It's less energy consumption, period. That would be the simple answer that I would have.
Yeah, I can go down to 500 watts, but the cost of the equipment
doesn't go down exponentially with it.
Yeah,
I get it. I understand.
So I optimized it based on the use of per watt and how much energy comes off of it of sunlight. So I didn't do it based on I did it based on what I could. And COVID kind of killed it too. So
what was the BTU for the 1,300 watts of plasma as far as cooling load necessary?
The same as any other light of 1,000 watts.
Well, I mean, you said
3,700.
Yeah, you said that earlier, but my experience between HPS and LED, okay, a LED, because it doesn't have radiant heat, usually requires a lower BTU than a HPS at the same wattage because the HPS has the ambient radiant heat that it also creates, whereas an LED, watt per watt, light is light. I get that, but the lack of heat generated through the diode versus the combustion of the gas is less. Because my experience is the BTU load watt per watt is lower with LED versus HPS.
How are you measuring?
Oh, my wallet.
No, how are you measuring the BTU?
Because I know what it costs me to run 1,000 watts HPS in air conditioning, and I know what it costs me to run 1,000 watts of LED with air conditioning, and it's less.
Yeah, so let me explain to you why. The back of the LED has a heat sink. There's a big ceramic heat sink. I don't advise you to touch it, but when you touch the back of the LED, it'll burn the skin off you, right?
It's not quite that hot. It's uncomfortable, but it won't burn your skin off.
Yeah, but it's not like a HPS would.
HPS will sear your skin for sure.
Exactly. So
no doubt about it.
Yeah. So because we replaced so many of those LEDs, 4 of them at least, even the Fluent, the FOSS one or anybody's, then in the room, we're less heat coming in. In fact, some people have to add heat, which is a negative of our light, is the fact that sometimes you have to add heat.
Right.
But,
LED, same thing. I think it's a negative that you have to add heat. Whereas,
right. But
and
I've
that's
also
depending
had,
on the environment. If you're in a hot desert type environment, that is a plus. If you're in a cooler or an atmosphere that'll fluctuate, then during the winter months, that's a deficit. So
and seasonally, that's my experience.
So to get back to the question, your light compares with thermal output compared to a what? Is it less than an HPS, more than an LED, somewhere in the middle? Like, what kind of heat is coming off of this light source? As far as how is this going to affect our environmental controls? Should we anticipate having to add some heat because of a reduction in thermal output from your light?
Okay, it's a mixed bag question, and let me explain it to you. It depends on the genetics that you're growing. For instance, can you see my slide? Can you see my slide or not?
Oh, yeah, I see
no.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we see your slides.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So let me go all the way to the back of my thing here. Hold on. Sorry that I have to do it this way.
No, don't worry.
There's papayas we're growing in Canada.
Nice.
I'm trying to get to the grow in. May have to bring a different setup. Yeah, I don't have it here. Sorry. When you see a grow like this, here's a better one. So here's a 500 square foot grow in Oregon. This is 24,000 watts of HPS. And you know very well the ballast creates all that heat, which is why you have all these air conditioning ducts. And I just want you to look at the air conditioning duct here and the shadow that it creates. So we replaced all those 24,000 watts with one of our lights. Now, for a cannabis, which is light hungry, we would put 5 lights, but it's still 5,000 watts versus 24,000 watts. And you can see the edge here, the amount of particles of light coming off of it. You could even see the tie wrap over here. So all of these particles are going down into the plant, down even below the plant. There's no shadow effect, even activates the microbes underneath, assuming you're in living soil. So when you shut down all this heat, the heat coming up is negligible. Now, if you're growing a plant from Jamaica, which is used to 78, 79, 80 degrees and high humidity, then obviously, yeah, you got to add that to that room for that genetic. But I can also show you a guy named Hawk Marsden who lives in Sheldon, Oregon, that grows in a hoop hut, and at 40 degrees, he's stacking like crazy. And he grows for the veteran.
That's great.
Right? And I can get that picture for you if you want to look at it, but you can call Hawk. It's called what's his grow name? I think it's called Canna Farms. He teaches as well. But so to answer your question, I have to have more information to know what the heat output would be. But just talking engineering, every 1,000-watt light puts out the same amount of BTU.
Well, okay. Now I'll agree on 1,000 watts is 1,000 watts. So we got a baseline: HPS, LED,
absolutely,
plasma. So that there's no argument there. 1,000 watts is 1,000 watts. The energy required to produce that amount of light, 1,000 watts is 1,000 watts. That's a given. But where I'm trying to, and I think really we just trying to understand it, not really dispute it. But I know 1,000 watts sodium, the majority of the light that's produced is also the heat that comes from the combustion of the gas. I mean, that's why you can't not touch a 1,000-watt high pressure sodium bulb at full burn. I mean, you're gonna burn your hand off. You can't touch it. If you put a thermometer on it, the degrees is crazy. 1,000-watt LED, you can touch it. It will be hot, but uncomfortably hot. It's not going to sear your skin off hot. So there's a radiant heat difference between those two, even though they're both 1,000 watts. And that radiant heat requires more air conditioning. And so I'm assuming yours is more efficient, even more efficient than LEDs. I would think it uses even less BTUs, but you default to saying 1,000 is 1,000, and they require the same BTUs. And my experience is that isn't true. I don't disagree 1,000 watts is 1,000 watts, but the different lights do require different amount of cooling to achieve the same ambient temperature at the leaf surface.
I would agree with you 100% on what you're saying.
Okay, can I present the question to you in this fashion? If I was in a grow room with one of your lights hanging from the ceiling, and I took the back of my hand and I slowly started to reach up, getting closer to the light, at what point, how far of distance would I be uncomfortable? Would my hand be extremely hot? In other words, how close,
2 inches.
how comfortably close could a canopy be to the bottom of your light?
Oh,
that's going to tell me how much heat you're kicking off, just to give me an idea to picture it in my head.
Sure. Let me stop this stream and just show you another one. The leaves actually touch our the outside of our unit, so you can go about 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, and be uncomfortable, but it won't burn the plant. Hold on.
So that to me translates to cooler than an LED.
Yeah, well, so here's the other thing about
the
science of an LED is because you're grouping together a bunch of diodes, and within each diode, it's going to be, then it's the sum total of the whole diodes with regards to ambient heat. But what I'm talking about is a 1,000-watt light, regardless of the technology, without the heat sink that a LED has, would still dissipate the same amount of heat BTU coming off that light. Now, the way they mitigate that in LED is by creating this heat sink in the back of ceramic, which is it's a heat absorber, so that you don't have melted fixtures and all of that. But it would be the same as what a HPS light would be in the sense of heat if they didn't put that in there. Now, if you're talking about just the fixtures versus talking about the heat in the room and ambient heat, our light would be actually cooler than any of the lights you have, because we have less light fixture per square feet of canopy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's just one light source.
Yeah, yeah, or less. In this room here I'm showing, there'd be 5 lights, right, rather than 24 lights.
That would be a lot better with 5 lights instead of 24. You'd have a lot less of everything.
Yep.
Heat and everything else.
Yeah, and here's a commercial grow in Oakland, California. They had 66 lights in this room, and with LEDs that have 68,000 kilowatts to cover this room. We had 22 lights in there. You can still see the other ones there.
And it's a different kind of light too, the spectrum of that light of yours.
It's sunlight. Yeah. And so
just saying, you can tell the difference. It doesn't strain your eyes to look at yours more than the HPS.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of the growers that worked there and the workers all ended up in our room because they felt so comfortable. Here's kind of the energy uses. This is DOE information, but you can see just from energy savings alone. This one is called a life engine because that's the one we call for our food growing. But you can basically see just from the energy in terawatt hours what it would.
What's the amps that your lights work off?
6 amps.
6 amps. That's pretty low. I was going to say, I'm going to be doing full solar power when I get on my new property. So, I mean, 6 amps is really low as far as the output of that light. So that
We
would
can
be
use you can use 5 solar panels. So here's the yellow is sunlight, the spectra. The green is our light. And everybody else's light works between 400 and 700 par. That's what they call par, made up spec. And then if you look at all the other lights, this is our spec, and this is all the other kind of lights available. So in essence, we emulate as close as we can. Obviously, we don't have the gamma and UVC on that end, but pretty much what sunlight does for plants.
pretty interesting.
What is that range of light beyond the far reds I see there? What is it? Are you getting into gammas
Infrared.
and stuff? That's the IR stuff past the far red.
Correct.
Okay.
And plants want what you can't see. So what the light companies have you do is think that whatever the visible light is what plants want. Yeah, for photosynthesis, but it does more than photosynthesis. Photomorgenesis, phytochrome work, all kinds of other things to get the branches, to get the root, to get the microbes, to all of that comes from the energy of sunlight. So this, when we say light, we think about visible light, but really this is about invisible light, things you cannot see.
So frequencies, vibration.
Yep.
Yes. That's what light is to plants anyway, is vibrations and wavelengths and stuff. So
Have you ever measured it, like what frequency it's ringing off?
Okay, I'm confused.
So like I hear there's like healing frequencies of like 428 or.
Yeah, we have it all. That's why we have all the nanometer. This is the wavelengths. So every one of these, and in between, quarter wave, eighth wave, everything is there. Everything is there. There's no, like LED only does this frequency and blue and red. And they make a line between this spot and this spot, the blue and the red, and pretend like they have all that, and they don't. They put a phosphorus filter over it, so it looks like it's white light, but there's no frequency of white in there. It's more of a market.
I didn't hear all the information, but how was the penetration of your light through the canopy as a grow room?
Say that again?
I was saying I wasn't here for some of the information that you were giving. I was just wondering, how is the penetration of the light frequency that you guys have with your light if you have a room with plants in it, how is it
Uh,
penetrating through the canopy to the lower canopy?
Also,
We don't have any shadow effect.
Gotcha.
So our growers cut the bottom of the plants indoors just for airflow.
Yeah.
And here, let me see. I certainly should have some things. Hold on.
I clear up the bottom so high, but I also leave a lot more foliage on the plant and stuff because, like you said, that is their source of taking in energy and stuff from the light.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. For some reason, this deck doesn't have my cannabis, but I'll. One of the things I wanted to show you here. This is month 1 to month 5. This thing's about 12 foot tall. This
Wow.
papaya tree.
Yeah.
It's about 15 feet from the center of the light.
Nice.
cool.
So,
Lovely flower.
and you can see the penetration down here on the bottom of this one. But hold on one second. Let me stop streaming this one. Let me get you some cannabis to look at.
Now, my swings in my grow building are like the one you're showing there and stuff. They're higher. And what's the maximum you could put the lights towards the canopy?
You mean what's the closest you can put to the canopy?
It's the closest you can get it down to the canopy. I was just curious.
6 inches.
Wow, that's good.
That's
So
really
it's not
close,
a
man. That's,
huge heat signature.
Oh no, that's what I was trying to explain. Hold on, let me hold on. Let me see if I can get you another one.
And it's 1100 watts too that's pumping out. It's like, wow, that's a killer. That's good.
Yeah. Hold on one second. I'll upload another
that'd be
one.
good for your new setup, Grampy.
Really good.
Heck yeah.
Is there going to ever be any smaller versions for somebody that's grown in a tent?
We're working on one that's a little smaller, but hold on a second here. Let me get.
They're only building the grown-up size right now, Chris. You got to come on
But
that direction.
well, he stated that it wasn't any cheaper for them to build a smaller light, so the 1300 watt that is their current light was the best balance
Right.
of efficiency for them to build. Isn't that what you had told me? Because you said you could make a 500, but
Yeah.
your costs don't go down for the
Correct.
smaller light.
Correct. Yeah.
So we would be paying the same amount for a 500 watt light, basically, because it's not any cheaper for you to make it. So you'd be better off buying 1300.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Look, we can do it later. It's economies of scale. Plus, we need some. Right now we're in a friends and family raise. We're going to be doing. You can imagine all the different uses for sunlight. So we're right now trying to find some investment. We've put $2 million of our own money, cash into developing this. Plasma has been around for some time, and a lot of people talk about it. Oh, I had plasma, this and that, but it's all a sulfur bulb that most people use. It didn't have the UVA and B in it. It also didn't have the higher 1650 infrared. So it is not the same as what has been on the market. We completely redid the light, and new patents are on it and all of that. So let me look here. If I can find my cannabis stuff. Why my cannabis stuff not here? Okay.
so are these lights actually out on the market now, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Shoot.
Absolutely. They've been out on the market for a while, but we don't do the, we don't do shows like ones in Vegas.
Regular
yeah,
shows of the cannabis shows.
We don't.
And you
do
missed it,
any
Grumpy.
of
There's a
those.
discount.
Hold
Discount was the light. I missed it.
Yeah. It's like a $1,400. I think he said 6 G's is what he could do it for. versus the 7,400 or whatever the retail price was.
Yeah. Can you see this now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Oh yeah.
can.
Okay, so this is a light in UC Riverside where they take care of all the citrus genetics in the United States are housed here, kept some of it back to the 1900s. But
Nice.
Nice.
so this
That's
is
dope. That's dope.
3 days of grow in rock wool. I hate rock wool, but this is what this guy Joe's do. Here you can see the size of the leaves that are coming off of very wide, and we can do all indoor sativas too, indoors, which pretty much unheard of, maybe Durban poison.
Yeah.
We grew this. Talk about terpenes.
Mm.
This is guys are getting about $800 for about like a clamshell. This is for vegan sushi, believe it or not. And everything except the rice and the outside we grew indoors. So here's the hoop hut I was showing you. This is in Sheridan. You can see how well they stack at 40 degrees. So you don't
Nice.
really, everybody thinks you need to heat that room up and all that. But if you have weak genetics or if you're using artificial inputs rather than living soil, then of course you probably need to help it somehow.
Right.
Here's one that's very interesting. We took the same mother, same plants, and we put them in the same soil, but these were under high pressure sodium. This was under LED, and this was under us. So this is how we help the farmers. You can see roots are pretty good. This is
Beautiful.
headhunt.
Well,
What is it? Headband.
oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah, and so these are some Mexican land races.
Beautiful expression out of the flower for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna
this
have
is
to
all.
invest one of them.
Yeah, this is all indoor growing. There's the one I told you about, the papaya. That's what the papayas look like, or still do. It's in their third generation now.
Seems like you guys are more focused on the commercial at the moment and stuff, and you guys are working on funding to bring the cost down for possibly home growers or something, or what, or on a smaller scale.
We hate the commercial grows, actually.
I'm just looking, thinking, I mean, the cost of the light, I guess, what's the coverage of each light, square foot?
100 square feet.
Off one light?
Yes, sir. It's actually bigger depending on what you're growing. But we under promise and over deliver.
700 in a 700 square foot room, you're only going to need 7 lights.
Correct.
Oh, Grumpy's his brain's going. He's like,
He's about to joke on
Grumpy, when I asked about cubic feet of coverage.
When you guys first started talking about coverage, that's what had me like, get the fuck out of here.
And he also said the degree
because usually that took 5-6 lights to cover that.
And the degree of light is wider than an LED.
Right.
That's a fifth of the even if it's equal to the old school HPSs. That's a fifth of the heat output.
Nothing for electric,
and it's even more efficient with heat output than that is. So, yeah.
Look,
it sounds like it's a win-win.
Yeah, let me
to be honest. I mean
if
that price point is going to be the biggest hurdle with anybody.
John, let son talk.
Yeah, if a commercial grow wants to do living soil and wants to do medicinal plants, then we want to work with them. If they're doing high THC pump and dump chemically laden crap, we have no interest in working with them.
Right. And I agree.
Right now, the people who care about the plant, and even, look, I get high too, right? So it isn't an issue of that. It's whether or not we can get growers to.
You're talking about being an ethical
Love you.
steward of the land and to the plant and stuff is what you're talking about, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, we want to help the smaller farmers. We want to help farmers who grow outdoors. And we also tell people.
I think most of the people here on this panel right here talking to you grow that direction. They're not salt-based growers, you know?
Yep, exactly. So that's, if you look at Azentive.com, or if you look at the sunondemand.com, those are the websites. You can get more information there. And, we're trying to help the small farmers that are growing the clean and helping their patients. We're more concerned about the plant, the patients, than we are about the grower. So I don't know how else to explain ourselves. And I certainly wouldn't be sitting here spending this much time with you guys if I didn't care about what you're doing. I'd be sitting in a lobby of a big commercial grow showing them how they can save electricity alone at 50%. So
just a little bit, I'm just going, wow, 6 amps, only so many lights per square. I'm like, man, and being ethical growing as well on top of it. But man, that's wow.
Unless they see the summertime for you.
Sure.
Yep. There's always going to be naysayers. I have no problem with that.
You need a 30-panel system there, buddy, to run 7 lights.
Yeah. Hey, listen, guys, I have a call that I've got to prepare for, but I really appreciate you inviting me in to talk.
Thank you.
I can
No, I appreciate your time.
Thank you very, very much.
No problem.
Yes, thank you.
If you have any questions, I don't care how simple you might think it is. My email address is sun, at Azentive, AZENTIVE.com. And the website is the sunondemand.com.
Gotcha.
You can always also contact me on there's a input form there. That way I know what you're doing and a little bit about what you're trying to accomplish. And I can, you guys are much better growers than I am, so I don't pretend to be that. But any way we can help the veterans, any way we can help people with specific ailments. Anytime you need good genetics, please let me know. I can get genetics for you. This is all about getting high quality, not just high throughput, but high quality plants to the people who need it. That's really
I'll probably be contacting you, maybe to see about getting some Hindu Kush if you got any.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
I can get you some Hindu Kush. Absolutely.
Yep. I can send you some stuff too. I got an IBL from Sonoma County that's been around for a long time. It's really good.
How about some pre-Bubba Kush?
That sounds really good.
Wow.
Hey, can I ask one more question real quick? When you say 6 amps, is that at 240 volts? I'm assuming it's not 120.
No, it's not. It's 220. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So at a 110 for a home user, that would be 12 amps. But okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
But hold on. There is you can buy on Amazon a couple of guys have bought this where, the initial cost is expensive, but it does go from 110 to 220.
Right. No, I understand. I just think a lot of home growers think in terms of 120. So when you said 6 amps, you were referring to 220, which most of us that run more lights would assume that it's 220, but I just wanted clarification on that.
Yeah, Harry Rose is running, he's got, I think, 4 of our lights. I'm trying to think of what Harry's doing up there on the top of the mountain.
Hey, you electricians, can we break that down to layman's term? When you're talking 110, 220, you're talking 110 is the regular plug in the wall that we all plug our hair dryer in. And then the 220 is hardwired.
Appreciate your time, yes.
That was so cool.
John, you can come back on.
Come on, John.
Nobody. I'm
just teasing. Come on, man.
John, John sometimes can't hear because I think he's using the. I think he's using. I don't think he's
The
using
bufferness.
headphones. Yeah, so he's not hearing that that Sun was
Oh,
talking,
nobody
and
can hear you when
I
you're
think,
talking.
but like Buddy
Try to
Kilowatt
join back in.
also doesn't sometimes hear that people are talking. Also try to talk with him and everything because he's also using the speaker, so it doesn't. It's not as loud as one would hope that it would be because I've had to use it and I can't hear shit. Like when I use the regular speaker on this freaking laptop, it's freaking quiet. Like if I'm not, dude, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it, but it is that way. But that being said, today was a great episode. A great
Yeah.
episode. And I'm so thankful for Sun to come on. That was awesome. I learned a lot. I'm more informed than I was before. I understand the cost is high, but people that are growing for what he said, um, it's a good product for them. And I understand that things when they're a small company and they're doing things like they are,
There, yes.
that they're having to there's a time period of when stuff is expensive and you're
LEDs used
actually
to be a few
supporting,
$1,000s.
yeah, and you're supporting a small company that's trying to do it ethically.
Yeah, family owned.
So what the
I'm not
cost of
knocking
that
it.
is, I don't know.
What I did, him throwing shade on Bruce on the lighting stuff, Bruce, I don't believe everything Bruce says either, but I thought that was a little underhanded because I mean, he is a university professor and his PhD is in lighting technology, because when I asked this guy, I mean, he said he was a plasma physicist and a mechanical engineer. But that being said, I mean, that's not the highest degrees you can have in those fields.
Mm.
And Bruce has probably got the credentials. So I would be curious to what Bruce would say about plasma. That would be like a good counter argument to hear, being that he is a lighting specialist.
Well, from what I'm getting, he's
Okay.
saying it's more than just plasma. It's carrying frequencies all the way through
No, I get,
Well,
yeah, all
no,
that.
no,
I
what?
mean, I'm not disputing plasma. I mean, plasma technology has been
No, I
around.
I understand exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the fields of study and relevant weight
Yes.
you
Well,
are giving
sometimes
them.
you can, yeah,
And
yeah.
one thing I'll bring up about agricultural study, it's funded by agricultural interests.
Yes,
And
for sure.
when you're doing no-till dry farm, there is no money to be made because I'm not buying any fertilizer. I'm not buying any infrastructure for
Right.
watering. There's nothing. I'm not using any lattice or any supports, absolutely nothing other than seeds. So
And the biggest
who's going to
takeaway,
study and teach that?
the biggest takeaway of the day, Chris, and I'm going to be on Team Primo over here. The sun doesn't dim. Shade cloth, not necessary, according to Sun.
No, it's necessary.
No.
It's necessary.
That's not it at all.
No, but Sun said it. Sun said it. The sun doesn't dim, so therefore it should be able to handle full sun.
It depends on what
It doesn't
the
Genetic
plants
sunset
can
or
handle full
sunrise
sun.
either.
It depends on the
Depends on
expression
genetic.
of the particular cultivar you're looking for, and some of those
Yes,
need
I
shade
agree. I'm
cloth.
just talking shit. I mean, it's obvious some plants like a
I
little bit of
know.
shade
I know.
because
I
DLI
know.
is too much sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can show
I
you
know.
that right now. I got a plant that I just
I can hear
transplanted
your
from indoor to outdoor.
sarcasm and I can hear it in your
Oh, it
voice. I
wasn't
know
very
that you
veiled,
know.
was it?
No, I can hear it. I can
No,
hear
but I wanted to be
that
on
you're just
record for
talking.
saying that it's like there is a purpose for shade cloth, even though the plants can all handle full sun. They will just be
Yes.
different than what
This
you may
just
be
got
looking
burned
for.
just from
Yeah.
today.
And different expression when you put the shade cloth. You
Yeah.
get a sweeter,
Yes.
sweeter plant with the shade cloth
Which one is
Just
that?
instead of
got
just
bleached
a funkier
today.
one.
And he threw shade on trichomes, and I liked how Greenfinger says, I got very terpy LED stuff,
Me too.
Yeah,
So,
the
I
Well,
info,
mean,
my
you
brother,
know,
you
that's
can
if
bridge
that's
the
the
you
whole
gap.
like
thing.
shows like this, if you like shows like this, go over there, support the show. Support the
Okay.
show. Like I said, I'm breeding for the first time this year. I'm going to be cutting clones. I'm going to be doing all that good stuff. So
Well, you just skip pollen
if
chucker
you
straight
want
to
to
breeder.
support, yeah, if you want. If you want to support the channel, please go on there. You will be receiving those beans later on this year. Okay. So the more you guys support, the more I'm able to do. So, and that means be able to help you guys out when you guys need help. So
Help me
support the
help you.
community, support. Yep, help me help you. You know.
That's what Saul was
So
kind of saying too. If you find a medicine that's good for you, it's probably good for somebody else. But don't everybody grow
yep,
the same thing.
yep. That's why I like what we're doing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it. All right, I gotta get up out of here. My wife's gonna kill me. So I will see you guys later. Peace
Buddy, go
out.
take a stick.
Here we go. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. I like to thank my Patreon subscribers. Okie Grower, Joe, you know why? Red Primo, Corey, Eric Chucker, Big John, Brian F, ZMPT, TAC Garage, B Allen. I is Okie Grower, Joe, you know why? Red Primo, Corey, Eric Chucker, Big D, Big John, Brian F, ZPT, TAC Garage, B Allen. Once again, Okie Grower, Joe, you know why? Red Primo, Corey, Eric Chucker, Big John, Big Dog, Big D.